He's swung on and hit the into right field deep. And you can't forget about this one. Lee Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam! Drew Luckbauer, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning!
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Come on, steps to the back for one out, throws to first, and he's in time, a double play.
And that one is gone! Joey Abner!
A high drive, left field deep. Bolzano going back, looking up. This ball is a two-run homer. T.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In his first year covering Newport Gulls baseball, here is play-by-play broadcaster Darren Zaslow.
Newport begins arguably its most crucial stretch of the 2017 NECBL regular season here tonight with 12 games over 11 consecutive days. Newport hosts the Plymouth Pilgrims here tonight at 6:35 p.m. from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island on Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. Free admission is given to all military personnel here tonight courtesy of Raytheon Defense Systems. Newport enters play here tonight with an 11-18 overall record, coming off an 18-6 loss back on Monday against the Sanford Mainers. Newport's offense looking to get going here. They are led by Cameron Meisner. The Missouri product is hitting .357. That is good for second best in the New England Collegiate Baseball League. On the other hand, Plymouth coming into play here tonight with a 19-14 overall record. The Pilgrims have won 5 of their last 6 games, coming off an 11-0 win at Upper Valley last night. It was the first time Upper Valley has been shut out all season. The Pilgrims have the best fielding percentage in the NECBL at .970. Plymouth has only committed 35 errors this season. They are led offensively by Hernan Sardinas, who went 3 for 5 yesterday. The main product is hitting .311 this season, leading Plymouth's offense. It's Newport and Plymouth. First pitch set for 6:35 p.m. Darren Zaslow with you here. The Newport Gulls pregame show starts right now here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show on the NECBL Broadcast Network. I'm Cam McGuire standing alongside Newport Gulls catcher Liam McGill. Liam, you just finished your freshman year at Columbia University, freshman All-America, and second team All-Ivy. Tell me a little bit about that, how you balance such being at a highly academic school, balancing that with baseball.
Yeah, it was definitely a transition, but I had like 32 teammates who had done it before, so they taught me the way, and I loved it a lot. Great experience.
Wakefield, Rhode Island native. What's it been like playing summer ball so close to home this summer?
It's definitely nice living at home. My brother actually just came up with his family for 2 weeks, spent a lot of time with family. I got to spend the 4th with family, so it's nice, definitely nice.
You guys had an off day yesterday, but now you'll have 9 games in the next 8 days. What do you guys need to do in order to stay healthy and perform at your best ability coming up here?
I think we just need to stay on top of everything, do what we've been doing, and just have fun with it, because it's going to be a grind.
So you guys have a 3-catcher rotation, you being one of them, Ty Duvall and Dom DiRenzo, 3 very capable and very high-quality catchers. What's that rotation kind of been like this summer?
I mean, I didn't catch a lot in college, so I'm used to it. But yeah, those 2 catchers have been great and done a great job behind the dish. So,
folks, that's Liam McGill, and I'm Cam McGuire. Don't go anywhere. The pregame show continues next on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. I'm here alongside Louisville Cardinals pitcher Shea Smitty. Shea, in your 2017 season, the Cardinals made it to the College World Series, eventually losing in that elimination game. Tell us, what was it like just playing at that atmosphere?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I mean, you always dream about going to the College World Series when you commit to college. So just getting there my freshman year was just incredible. Just a great experience.
Now, one of the players on the team you lost to, you're playing with here in Newport, in Charles King. You guys lost 4-3 in that game versus TCU. I asked him earlier when I talked to him a few weeks ago, how's your relationship? You got any bad blood? Has he kind of rubbed it in at all, or are you guys doing well?
Charles is one of my good friends on the pitching staff. Really, really great guy. I mean, obviously we have fun with it every once in a while, but, I mean, hats off TCU. They're a great program, making it there, what is it, like 4 or 5 years in a row now. So, I mean, you can't ask for a better game to go between us. So, I mean, yeah, we do have some fun with it, but, I mean, no hard feelings.
Now, you guys are coming off a tough 18-6 loss versus the Mainers a couple of days ago. How big is it to get back on a win streak here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about, especially in baseball, having reset buttons because, I mean, you win some, you lose some here in baseball. But, I mean, just getting back in a good groove of winning and competing and going out there with the guys. I mean, we all trust each other to go out there and do our jobs the right way.
12 games in 11 days. What's got to happen to get some of those wins?
I mean, you just got to grind it out. I mean, that's what summer ball and baseball is all about, just grinding it out. So, I mean, this is what you're going to, if you want to play at the next level, this is what you're going to have to go through. So, it's just kind of a great experience to go through it now.
Now, last question. The whole team went on their off day to Fenway Park. Had you ever been to Fenway Park in Boston? I would have loved to have Carter Aldrete come in the interview and ask him a similar one, but how was the experience? I heard Dash caught a foul ball.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was really cool, especially with all the history at Fenway, seeing the Green Monster, going down the streets near Fenway, how old school it is, and just knowing all the history that's been there playing. But, yeah, Dash did make a barehand play. I mean, he's saying it's the highlight of his career. But, I mean, you know how Dash is, just a great guy. It was just going to happen to a better person, just getting that ball hit right to him.
All right, well, best of luck in this stretch. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Shea Smitty. I'm Dave Peck. The pregame show continues next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls field reporter Dave Peck. Dave, certainly a huge stretch for this Newport team. 12 games, 11 consecutive days. It all starts here tonight against Plymouth. Fair to say this will be a very deciding stretch for how this team will do the rest of the season.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better, especially coming off that tough loss on Monday to the Mainers. That 18-6 game just really hurt the momentum that this team had, and you can tell that things weren't necessarily the same today in the pregame warm-ups, but that doesn't explain how they're going to do during the game. I think they'll be ready to go. They had an off day yesterday, and you know, all of the players went to Fenway Park together. One of the players actually was fortunate enough to catch a foul ball, and you know, they're really excited about that. So, you know, things aren't going their way as of lately, but there's still hope.
Certainly still hope, and against the Plymouth team here tonight, Dave, and we talked about it, a very intriguing matchup. Plymouth has won 5 of its past 6 games. This is a team that is starting to play some very consistent baseball.
Yeah, Darren, I remember earlier in the season you were talking about how Plymouth was struggling offensively, and you know, their team batting average has really shot up recently, and that's been a huge part of their success right now, sitting in second place in that Southern Division, just 5 games behind the Waves, who have really kind of taken a stranglehold on the NECBL this season. So it'll be another good test. It'll be a really must-win, and I wonder how many times we're going to say that until it really is a must-win, because that number is getting closer and closer to becoming a reality when this team can't afford to have games like they had on Monday.
Plymouth offensively has gotten going here in the recent stretch. They're hitting .243 as a team. That's good for number 7 in the NECBL. Newport, on the other hand, it's a team that's hitting .230. That's the worst team batting average in the New England Collegiate Baseball League. The Gulls are 4.5 games behind the Mystic Schooners for that 3rd and final playoff spot in the NECBL Southern Division. You have to focus on yourself here if you're the Gulls, and that's something that's not easy to do all the time.
Yeah, it's been tough for them, especially because it's so much harder to play good baseball when you're behind in games. And even on the games they've been winning, they've been coming back and having to do that in extra innings. But there hasn't been a game in a while that this team has jumped out to an early lead. You know, that gives opposing teams pitchers great opportunities to kind of get ahead in counts and keep those Gulls batters guessing. So, You know, it'd be nice here if they could get out to an early start, maybe get 2 runs on the board in the first and close them down that following inning. Charles King on the mound, so he should have pretty good command based on his last outing, and just try and get some momentum early in the game so you're not, you know, digging out of a hole you created in the first 3 innings.
Certainly a huge matchup here tonight. It's Plymouth and Newport here on Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. For Gulls field reporter Dave Peck, I'm Darren Zaslow. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues next, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the Coaches Report. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Newport Gulls assistant coach Eric Degree. Eric, a huge stretch for this Newport team, beginning tonight, 12 games, 11 consecutive days. Is that something that you think about day in and day out here during the final couple weeks of the season?
Absolutely not. We need to think about today and only today. We can't think about tomorrow. We have a job to do today, and that's to compete every pitch, every inning today, and see what we can come up with.
Newport is 4.5 games behind the Mystic Schooners for that third and final playoff spot. Similar question. It's hard to look at that number, you know, and also focus on yourself, but it seems like that's kind of the reality of the situation this team has to take it pitch by pitch.
Well, when we talk about reality, the only thing that we can control is how we play. We want to make sure we play to the best of our abilities so we have a chance to win. We can't control what Mystic does, so what we can do tonight is play well against Plymouth.
15 games to go here in the 2017 NECBL regular season. Eric, what do you look for this team to turn around specifically?
We just want to be able to compete each pitch. Doesn't matter what happened the last pitch. We want to go ahead forward, whether we're hitting, playing defense, or pitching. We just want to look at every pitch and compete.
It's Newport and Plymouth. First pitch set for 6:35 p.m. For Eric Degree, I'm Darren Zaslow. Newport Gulls baseball is up next, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Darren Zaslow and the Newport Gulls broadcast team.
What a huge matchup it is here tonight at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island, here on Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. Free admission for all military personnel being given out courtesy of Raytheon Defense Systems as the Newport Gulls host the Plymouth Pilgrims. How you doing, everybody? Darren Zaslow with you here on the NECBL Broadcast Network, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxoud, the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims Quinn Kelly, and Gulls field reporter Cam McGuire. We are all here with you in the broadcast booth located behind home plate. Plymouth 19-14 entering play here tonight. Newport 11-18. The Gulls begin one of the most crucial stretches all year here in the 2017 NECBL regular season. For Newport, 12 games over the next 11 consecutive days. Newport 4.5 games behind the Mystic Schooners for third place in the NECBL's Southern Division. Quinn, this is a Plymouth team that has played very well over the past week, winners of 5 of their past 6 after defeating Upper Valley last night. 11-0 the first time the Nighthawks have been shut out all year. A huge victory for Plymouth.
Yeah, absolutely, and the first shutout for the Pilgrims. They're really gelling right now. Like you said, 5 of their last 6 they've been able to take the win in, and they've had a little stretch here where 3 straight games they played against a divisional #1 seed. You know, they split the series with Ocean State, a couple of tough battles there, got the win 3-2 and then lost 4-3, and then came out and I think made a resounding statement against the top team in the North, showing that really the Southern Division is the division to be contended with.
Quinn, this is a very interesting Plymouth team because we've talked about the Pilgrims' offensive struggles, and over this past week, this team is now hitting .243, okay, and that's number 7 in the NECBL. This was a team that was in the low 230s the last time we met. It's a team that has offensively really found its stride.
Absolutely. It's a team that was in the basement for the first 6 weeks of the summer or so, but has just come alive here in July. They've just got guys that are really heating up, the guys that you expected to be coming in as big names, finding their groove here in late July and taking the team into what is the tightest part of the season in a good spot.
Hernan Sardinas, the main product, leading the way offensively for Plymouth. He is hitting .311. You flip it onto the defensive side of things for the Pilgrims. This is a team that has had a lot of success this year in the field. A .970 fielding percentage. That is the best in the NECBL. They have made just 35 errors. That is a number that is continuing not only to just stay the same, but continuing to go up as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's all about just making those routine plays, and they seem to do that. Sometimes they have the costly errors, as we saw last time they were down here, but for the most part, I mean, there's 27 outs to get, and they're doing it almost every time on 27 attempts.
Cam, you look at this Newport team entering play here tonight, 11-18. We talked about it, 4.5 games behind the Mystic Schooners for third place in the NECBL's Southern Division. How crucial is it for Newport to get a win here tonight to start off this huge stretch of 12 games over 11 consecutive days?
Yeah, no, we're getting down to crunch time here, and obviously every game is big, but this one is absolutely huge. This is do or die for the Gulls. 12 games in the next 11 days, as you said. This game is going to start off that stretch, so they need to have a good performance here tonight.
Newport coming off an 18-6 loss here at home against Sanford on Monday, so the Gulls will try and rebound. Plymouth trying to continue to play consistent baseball. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll throw things over to Gulls field reporter Cam McGuire for a look around the NECBL scoreboard from last night and the current standings. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. This is Raytheon Military Appreciation Night here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. It's the Gulls and the Plymouth Pilgrims. First pitch set for 6:35 p.m. It's a Southern Division clash here in the New England Collegiate Baseball League. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxad, the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Quinn Kelly. And now we'll throw things over to Gulls field reporter Cam McGuire for a look around last night's NECBL scoreboard.
Yeah, 12 teams in action last night. Mystic defeated Danbury 17-15. North Adams came out on top versus Sanford 2-1. Plymouth Pilgrims a very impressive win over Upper Valley, score of 11-0. Up in Vermont, Vermont defeated Winnipesaukee 5-2. Keene Swamp Bats defeated the Valley Blue Sox 11-3, and Ocean State continued their success, defeating New Bedford 6-1.
Cam, of course, those standings are very, very important to look at here. And we've talked about Upper Valley, a team with 22 wins. And then in the Southern Division, Ocean State at 23 wins. Two very impressive teams leading the pack. Why don't you take us through the rest of those standings?
Yeah, so in the Northern Division, Upper Valley obviously on top. Over Valley Blue Sox a 4.5 game lead on them. The Keene Swamp Bats are 500 at 16-16, 5.5 games back. Vermont is 15-17. Winnipesaukee and North Adams are 8.5 games back at 13-19. And Sanford rounds out that Northern Division at 12-20. Over in the Southern Division, things are very tight towards the bottom. Ocean State on top at 23-8. The Plymouth Pilgrims are 19-14. Mystic is 17-15. Danbury's 14-16, 8.5 games back. New Bedford Bay Sox are 13-17, 9.5 games back, and the Newport Gulls are 11-18, 4.5 games back from that third playoff spot.
Yeah, those numbers really put things in perspective for you. And Quinn, right now, you know, we've talked about these standings. Plymouth right now sitting in a very good spot. Second place in the NECBL Southern Division, 5 games behind Ocean State. Of course, you know, you can kind of look at this two ways. Well, Plymouth could just be content getting that number 2 seed, having a home game in the first round of the playoffs. If the season ended today, it would be against Mystic. But I really think this Plymouth team, you know, assuming that they're able to continue to play consistent baseball, you know, they could give Ocean State a bit of a run here.
Absolutely. I think they can. I think the biggest obstacle for them is that they're already done against Ocean State. They don't have any games between the two teams to try to pick up a whole game in that one night. But they are going to make a run, I think. I mean, you've got Ocean State out ahead, who is a bit notorious for getting some tired arms, as are most teams, but they seem to lose a little bit of strength of their arms, and they're built on a team with arms. I think the offense can be contended with, and if they have a couple bad starts here and there, I think they could drop a couple games, and just like that, if the Pilgrims continue the success that they've been having lately, you're looking at the two hottest teams, one of them's got to fall off, and if it's Ocean State, the Pilgrims could make a run at that 1 seed.
15 games remain on the regular season schedule for the Newport Gulls. 5 of those will be played here at home at Cardines Field. The Gulls, of course, not out of things at all, just 4.5 games behind the Mystic Schooners for the 3rd and final playoff spot in the NECBL's Southern Division. The Gulls are also 11 games behind the Ocean State Waves for first place. So that should put things into perspective for you for where the Gulls currently stand right now. Of course, it is Raytheon Military Appreciation Night here at the ballpark. Tonight's first pitches are being thrown out by Scott Tilden, the Raytheon Senior Director, also Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee, Captain Dennis Boyer from the Naval Station in Newport, Captain Kevin M. McGowan, John Kiernan, and Senator James A. Savini. He is also throwing out tonight's first pitches. So a lot of first pitches to be thrown here at the ballpark, and there you can see the on-field festivities on your screen in front of you. Don't go anywhere. More the NECBL pregame show here for the Newport Gulls, and the Plymouth Pilgrims continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We're back here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network Raytheon Military Appreciation Night here at Cardines Field. Free admission is being given out to all military personnel, courtesy of Raytheon Defense Systems. It's the Newport Gulls and the Plymouth Pilgrims, a key Southern Division matchup here in the New England Collegiate Baseball League. Plymouth 19-14 entering play here tonight. Newport 11-18. And Quinn, we talked about this Plymouth team, winners of 5 of its past 6. Another interesting area to look at here tonight is pitching. And it's a very solid pitching staff here for the Pilgrims as well, a 3.86 team ERA. And on the mound here tonight, Jonathan Bermudez will get the ball, but that 3.86 team ERA, that's definitely kept them in ball games as well.
Yeah, it absolutely has. I mean, we talked about earlier in the broadcast that this was a team that really kind of sputtered out of the gates offensively, hanging around the basement of the NECBL, but it was some great pitching that kept them in it. They didn't need a lot of run supports. And, you look at a guy like Jonathan Bermudez, who hasn't been able to take a lot of wins in ball games because he's had very little run support, but he still has a great ERA, sitting at 3.14 after a couple tough starts, but looking to get back to form tonight.
So we will now stand for the national anthem here at Cardines Field. And don't go anywhere. When we come back, we will get you starting lineups and first pitch between the Pilgrims and the Gulls.
And now, our national anthem will be performed by Dan Smith of the United States Navy, MU-1.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the
beautiful national anthem sung by Navy Band Northeast vocalist Dan Smith from MU1 US Navy. We're just about ready for baseball here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We will get you starting lineups and first pitch between the Plymouth Pilgrims and Newport Gulls next, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Just about ready for baseball here at Cardines Field in the city by the sea, Newport, Rhode Island, the site for a Southern Division matchup here in the NECBL. It's Plymouth and Newport, the Pilgrims with a 19-14 overall record. The Gulls enter play here tonight at 11-18. This is Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. Free admission has been given to all military personnel courtesy of Raytheon Defense Systems. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxoud, the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Quinn Kelly, and Gulls field reporter Cam McGuire. We are all here with you in the broadcast booth located behind home plate. And for the starting lineup for the visiting Plymouth Pilgrims, we will send things over to the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Quinn Kelly.
Thank you very much, Darren. Leading things off, it'll be Andrew McNeil, the right fielder out of Stetson University. Behind him, Tyler Wyatt, this past week's Player of the Week in the NECBL, plays third base out of Grand Canyon U. Behind him, Chase Cheek, one of the hottest hitters in the NECBL, moving up to that 3 spot for the Pilgrims. He's out of Duke University and playing center field tonight. Hernan Sardinas, the leading average man for the Pilgrims, plays first out of Maine. After a 4 for 6 last night in a shellacking of Upper Valley, he is in the cleanup spot. Sal Gazzo, the Tulane shortstop, is hitting 5th. Behind him, Pat McCall, the Harvard DH. Pat Dorian slides back to 7th today, the second baseman out of Lynn University. Behind him is Connor Brumfield, the Mizzou product out of left field, And Brandon Martirano, the UNC catcher, round out the order for the Pilgrims.
Thanks so much, Quinn. They will go to work against the starting pitcher on the mound for Newport, the right-hander out of TCU, Charles King. He does not yet have a decision this season. He has a 1.80 ERA, though, 5 innings pitched, has given up 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, and he has walked 1. And now the starting lineup for the hosts here tonight, the Newport Gulls, looks like this. Leading off is the left fielder, Cameron Meisner, out of Missouri. Batting second, the third baseman, Carter Aldretti, out of Arizona State. In the number 3 spot, out of Stanford, the first baseman, Andrew Dashbach. Batting cleanup is the catcher, Ty Duvall from Vanderbilt. Duvall's Vanderbilt teammate, Tyler Green, is the designated hitter, hitting 5th. Batting 6th is the second baseman, Nick Durr from Florida State. In the number 7 spot is the shortstop, Bruce Steele, out of Wake Forest. Batting 8th, the right fielder from Elon, Liam O'Regan. And rounding out the Newport lineup, the center fielder from Florida State in J.C. Flowers. The Gulls will go to work against a starting pitcher on the mound for the Plymouth Pilgrims. His name, Jonathan Bermudez, the southpaw out of St. Leo College, will get the ball here tonight. And Quinn, what can you tell us about Bermudez?
Well, Bermudez has been excellent so far this season for the Pilgrims. He leads the NECBL Southern Division with 38 strikeouts. He's got a 3.14 ERA. He's given up 30 hits, 12 walks, over 34 and a third appearances. This will be his 7th start of the Pilgrims. He has been roughed up a little bit as of late, of course, getting kind of a bad start in Danbury, allowing 5 earned runs in 6 2/3 in his last start, all of those coming by way of the home run. And as I'm sure you know, Darren, down in Danbury, a ballpark that will see home runs like none other. I'd say about 3 or 4 of them wouldn't have been out in any other park in the NECBL.
Make a good point right there, Quinn. Absolutely. And last night, to further that point, Mystic victorious over Danbury. Bring this up, 17-15.
Unbelievable.
Crazy game. So something to kind of keep an eye on here throughout the NECBL for sure. On the bags here tonight, your umpiring crew, Derek Kavinsky and Anthony Letizio. Behind home plate, the umpire is Joe Gravina. And your weather here in Newport, Rhode Island, what a gorgeous night it is. 77 degrees, sunny, not a single cloud in the sky. 13-mile-per-hour winds. It'll touch down to about 75 degrees around that 9 o'clock mark. So beautiful, beautiful weather. We will also take you through the starting defensive alignment here for the Newport Gulls after the first pitch from Charles King is thrown to Andrew McNeil, the right fielder out of Stetson, will lead things off here for Plymouth. He bats from the left side. Squared stance, first pitch fastball, called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. First pitch thrown at 6:45. Your starting defensive alignment for Newport from left to right around the Gulls infield. Carter Aldretti mans the hot corner. He's at third base. The shortstop is Bruce Steele. Nick Durr is at second. Andrew Dashbach is at first. A 1 from King. Fastball misses low and inside. Count levels at 1-1. From left to right in the Newport outfield, Cameron Meisner is in left field. J.C. Flowers in center, Liam O'Regan in right. Catching the balls and strikes from Charles King is Ty Duval. Andrew McNeil still at the plate, 1-1. This one skied in the air, deep left field. Sends Meisner back to his left, reaches up and makes the play about 10 feet in front of the left center field fence for out number 1, and that's how the ball game starts. Nice job there by King to retire McNeil.
And that seems like what we're gonna see a lot tonight. It's gonna be a lot of balls where if you're able to kind of get the barrel on it, they're gonna go a long way because of the speed King's bringing. But I'd venture to guess that most of them will be to the opposite fields on these hitters.
Tyler Wyatt, the third baseman from Grand Canyon, will step in. He bats from the right side here. Wyatt hitting .231, McNeil batting .236 as well. He was just retired on a flyout. First pitch curveball in there for strike 1, 0-1. Newport dressed in their home white uniforms with Gulls written in blue from left to right, outlined in orange. The numbers on the front and the back of the jersey are blue, outlined in orange as well. The Gulls also wear white pants with a blue and orange stripe down the sides. As the 0-1 pitch is another curveball that swung on and missed there by Wyatt, 0-2. Plymouth dressed in their road navy blue tops with Plymouth written in gray from left to right. The numbers on the front and the back of the jersey are gray as well. The Pilgrims also wear white pants with a navy blue stripe down the sides as a fastball is dealt on the outside corner for strike 3. Down looking goes Tyler Wyatt. First strikeout of the night for King, 2 away.
It's just a great pitch by King. You know, when he's got that speed on you, you really have a split second to decide. And if you even think for a second, oh, you know what, I'm going to sit back on that, that's probably going to be outside. The least bit of movement and that tails in, you've got no chance of catching up to it.
So here is Chase Cheek, the center fielder out of Duke, hitting .267 this year, 23 for 86. Looks at a fastball thigh high on the inner edge for strike 1. Your field dimensions here at the ballpark, 28-foot high fences, 315 feet down the left field line, 365 to left center, 395 to deep center, 340 to right center, 285 down the right field line. 0-1 swing and a miss there by Cheek. 0-2. And of course, among the many unique features of this ballpark, hockey-style dugouts located down the first base line. 0-2. Foul tipped off the glove of Duval. Newport's dugout closer to home plate. Plymouth's dugout closer to first base. You can see that right on your screen in front of you. King holds the tan glove in front of his face as he gets the sign from Duval. Cheek, you can tell, crowding the plate a little bit from the left side. And now he will step out of the box and dig back in. Swings the all-black bat. The red, white, navy blue batting gloves. A crouch stance slightly open for Cheek. 0-2. Sharply lined foul left side. Still 0-2. I'll tell you what, though, Quinn, King has been around the plate a lot here. 10 pitches thrown. How about this? 9 of which have been for strikes.
I mean, you got no reason to miss when you're coming with as much heat as he's coming with. Not many guys are going to be able to catch up. Early, good to test him early.
0-2. Misses low and inside for ball 1. Now 1-2 on Chase Cheek, the center fielder out of Duke. Andrew McNeil led off the frame with a fly out to left field. Tyler Wyatt struck out as well. 1-2. Curveball, strike 3 called outside corner. Great frame from Charles King. 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts for the TCU right-hander. He retires Plymouth in order. 1, 2, 3. For the Pilgrims, no runs, no hits, no Newport errors. None left aboard. We go to the bottom half of the first, where the Gulls will take their first swings of the night. When we come back, we are scoreless here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. To the bottom half of the first inning we go here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. It's Newport and Plymouth here in an NECBL Southern Division matchup. And we will take you through the starting defensive alignment for the visiting Plymouth Pilgrims. From left to right around the Plymouth infield, Tyler Wyatt abandons the hot corner. He is at third base. The shortstop is Sal Gazzo. The second baseman, Pat Dorian, and the first baseman is Hernan Sardinas. From left to right in the Plymouth outfield, Connor Brumfield is in left field. Chase Cheek is in center. Andrew McNeil is in right. Brandon Martirano is behind home plate, catching the balls and strikes from the St. Leo College southpaw and Jonathan Bermudez. So we'll see what Newport can do here. Plymouth retired in order 1-2-3 by Gulls starter Charles King out of TCU. Cameron Meisner, Carter Aldretti, Andrew Dashbach all due up here for Newport. So we'll see what the Gulls can do, and who else to start it off other than Cameron Meisner. He's been excellent. A .357 batting average for the Missouri left fielder. That's the second best in the NECBL. He is 35 for 98, 22 runs scored. Ties the team lead in home runs with 5 and has 20 RBI. He will bat from the left side here. Newport beginning a very crucial stretch here in the regular season. 12 games over the course of the next 11 consecutive days. Meisner digs in. It's a lefty-lefty matchup between Bermudez and Meisner. Bermudez, the slow windup, the high leg kick. First pitch fastball runs up and inside. It's 1-0 on Cameron Meisner. Gorgeous night for baseball here at the ballpark on Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. Bermudez winds and deals the next pitch. This one fouled straight back. It is 1-1. And Quinn, we've talked about this Plymouth defense. Of course, we have yet to see them in action here tonight. But if you have a very solid defense like Plymouth has, it's going to win you a lot of games.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. I mean, it's at a level where there's such talent all around. It just comes down to sometimes who makes less mistakes.
1-1. Fastball in there at the knees. 1-2.
We talked about the speed that King is going to bring here. Well, Bermudez, no slouch himself. He's got a fastball that's going to sit low 90s, crawl up into the mid 90s sometimes. I mean, he can bring the heat.
The lefty winds and deals. Curveball, sharp ground ball to second. Gloved there by Dorian on an 8. He will throw out Meisner. 4-3. Meisner is retired, 1 away.
And all things considered for Meisner, that's a well-hit ball. Hit it very hard, hit it to the pull side, so something to build off of for your next at-bat against Bermudez.
Carter Aldretti, the third baseman out of Arizona State, will step in from the right side. Aldretti hitting .222 this year. Bermudez, Quinn, interesting numbers here. A strikeout pitcher from what it looks like. 38 strikeouts over 34.1 innings pitched. The 3.15 ERA. Deals the first pitch to Aldretti, misses up and away for ball 1. But like you talked about, certainly seems like a power pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to try to get that fastball by you and then drop the hook on you when he can. The changeup doesn't get featured too much, but when he does, it can be devastating.
1-0 line drive, base hit left field. Carter Aldretti has been excellent over the past week. 1-out single here brings up Andrew Dashbach, the first baseman out of Stanford.
And that's been the most frustrating thing for Bermudez, I think, over his last couple starts. He's just giving up hits. I mean, even when he's working around it, you never want to see that hit total climb. You know, he no-hit the Gulls through 6 innings the last time these two teams met way back when. Very different Gulls team coming off an outing where he gave 7 hits up against the Westerners. Got to find a way to start moving pitches around the zone, get them around, guys. I think don't rely on that fastball quite as much as he typically does.
Well, here is Andrew Dashbach. We will see what Bermudez can do against him. First pitch. This one grounded to short, could be 2. Gozo throws to second for 1. Dorian relays to first. Is in time. It was a high throw, but Sardinas was able to keep the foot on the bag. And the inning is over off the 6-4-3 double play for Newport. 3 hitters come up to the plate. A hit for Carter Aldretti, but no runs to show for it. For Newport, no runs on a hit. None left on. No Plymouth errors. We go to the top half of the second with a score. Newport 0, Plymouth 0. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network. To the top half of the second we go. Plymouth and Newport currently scoreless here on the NECBL Broadcast Network for the Pilgrims. Hernan Sardinas, Sal Gazzo, Pat McCall all due up for the Pilgrims, who enter tonight's contest at 19-14, currently sitting in second place in the NECBL's Southern Division. But Quinn, we've talked about it, a big game for Plymouth as well, a team that's won 5 of its last 6.
Absolutely it is. I mean, for the Pilgrims, they really feel like this little 2-game stretch here with Newport and then tomorrow night Mystic are big for them, because after that, you have, I believe it's 5 out of your last 7 or so games are non-conference games. So this is really their last opportunity to start picking up games in conference and try to make moves and really solidify themselves in the Southern Division.
If the season ended today, Plymouth would host Mystic in the first round of the NECBL Southern Division playoffs. That would be a home game for Plymouth as well at Forges Field, as Hernan Sardinas steps in, looks at a fastball off the outside corner for ball 1. Next offering, this one drilled deep left center field. Back on it to his right goes Flowers. It's off the fence. Around first, heading for second is Sardinas. Flowers' throw is not in time into second base with a leadoff double. Here in the top half of the second is Hernan Sardinas. He has been excellent. Quinn entered play with a .311 batting average. That's only going to go up from here.
Yeah, I mean, you look at him over his last 10 games now, 11 for 26. And after a 4-hit ball game last night, including a 3-run home run, I mean, he just gets things started here against Newport. Exactly how he ended last night, 2 big fly balls.
So here is Sal Gazzo, the shortstop out of Tulane, will bat here from the left side. Gazzo hitting .304, 14 for 46, 5 RBI, 12 strikeouts. Whereas the high navy blue socks from the left side, he swings an all-tan bat, a red arm sleeve on the right arm. First pitch chopped weakly to first, backhanded stop by Dashbach, flips to King covering, and that is in time, but it does the job. To third base goes Sardinas. A runner on third and 1 out for Pat McCall, the designated hitter out of Harvard.
And credit to King there, because that ball was hit in a tight spot there over in that 4-3 gap. Dashbach had a long way to go to get it, and King really had to hustle to beat out Gazzo there.
Well, this is a big at-bat here with McCall, the designated hitter. He also bats from the left side. A very left-handed stacked lineup here from the Pilgrims, at least from what it looks like. McCall, a 190 hitter, 11 for 58, 11 RBI. Resides in Los Altos, California. We'll see what he can do here. Out of the stretch is King, first pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss over top the breaking ball there by McCall. It is 0-1. Hernan Sardinas led off the frame with a double off the left center field fence. He advanced from second to third on Sal Gazzo's ground out to first base. King out of the stretch, the tan glove set letter high, the leg kick 0-1. Another swing and a miss there, elevated fastball, 0-2. Plymouth currently out hitting, well, both teams have 1 hit in this ball game. We'll see if Plymouth can strike first here in the contest. McCall is ready, so is King. The 0-2, fastball fouled off left side. Nice job there by McCall to get a piece and stay alive. We are in the top half of the second, 1 out, a runner on third. Plymouth and Newport are scoreless here on Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. Center fielder Flowers shades towards the left center field gap about 5 feet. 0-2. Curveball lifted foul down the right field line and will get out of play. Over the warehouse, that is, of course, located down the right field line. The Cardines Field scoreboard is right on the front side face of that warehouse. The scoreboard is black and white. The numbers light up in red. The American flag waves over top. King peers into Duvall. Gets the sign. And the 0-2. Fastball runs wide. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thus far, Quinn for King. I mean, he's done a nice job keeping that pitch count low. He has thrown 17 pitches, 12 of which have been for strikes.
It's a fantastic job staying within the zone. We talked about it. With overpowering stuff, you can afford to do that.
1-2 ground ball under the glove of King. Backhanded stop by Durr. Throw to first, not in time. Crossing the plate on an infield RBI single is Hernan Sardinas from Pat McCall. It's a 1-0 Plymouth lead.
It's a good bit of hitting there by McCall. I really love the way King started the at-bat because you knew McCall was going to be up there hacking, knowing that all it would take would be a fly out. He starts him with the breaking ball, stays soft for most of the at-bat, but has to kind of move it around. McCall fights off a couple tough pitches and eventually just wins the battle. Not the hardest hit ball, but that'll get it done.
Nice play there by Durr to even get to that baseball. Pat Dorian, the second baseman from Lynn, up at the plate. Looks at a fastball just below the knees and off the inner edge for ball one. Dorian hitting .231 this season, 24 for 104. Has certainly played a lot for this Plymouth team. 1-0, skied in the air, shallow left field. Oncoming is Meisner to his right towards the line. Reaches up and puts it away with one hand head high for out number 2.
Dorian has been struggling at the plate of late and really not performing to the standard that he'd like to be to, but it's his glove that keeps him in the game. One of the best defensive second basemen I'd venture to say in the league.
We'll see what Connor Brumfield can do, Cameron Meisner's teammate from Missouri. Brumfield this season hitting .247. He is 19 for 77, 10 walks and 22 strikeouts. King out of the stretch. Throw over to first, a high pickoff move caught there on the throw by Dashbach. The third baseman, Aldretti, plays just about on the infield grass. King works out of the stretch from the third base side of the rubber. Gets his sign from Duval and sets at the letters. Curveball in there for strike one. It's an excellent pitch there from King. 1-0 your score in favor of Plymouth. Top 2 away, a runner on first. King working quickly, takes a deep breath and deals. The 0-1, it was a fake steal there from Brumfield as the pitch misses inside, 1-1. Certainly has been a Plymouth offense that has improved over the duration of the season. A team that's hitting .243 entering play tonight. 1-1, misses low and inside. Great backhanded pick there by Duval.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That ball, he really doesn't get a great look at it because it's crossing in front of Brumfield's legs, and that's a huge stop for him. You don't want to put that other second man in scoring position.
2 balls and 1 strike, the count to Connor Brumfield. Plymouth trying to win their 6th game out of their past 7 contests. 2-1, chopped foul weakly right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Already 2 hits in the frame for Plymouth. But the real difference-making hit, in my opinion, is Sal Gazzo's ground out to the right side, Quinn. I know it doesn't go down as anything more than 3-1 on your scorebook, but that was huge. 2-2 ground ball, right side, gets through for a base hit in the right field. Around second and putting on the brakes is Pat McCall as Liam O'Regan throws the ball back into the infield. 3rd hit of the frame for Plymouth. A 2-out single from Connor Brumfield puts runners on first and second from Brandon Martirano. But it's the situational hitting. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely is, and that's been the biggest improvement. The Pilgrims have been able to get guys on all season, but they have just not hit well in the situations in which they need to. Here tonight, I mean, you see it. You just get a big hit from McCall, and you said it. Gazzo pushed him across. I mean, Sardinas isn't in on that hit by McCall, if not for the ground out by Gazzo, going up and just doing exactly what he needed to do.
Certainly. We'll see what Brandon Martirano can do, the catcher out of North Carolina. Martirano hitting .154 this season. First pitch from King. He's working quickly. Deals a fastball on the outside corner. Knee high for strike 1. Martirano 6 for 39, 4 runs scored and 9 RBI. 14 strikeouts for the Marlboro, New Jersey native. King out of the stretch. That's the tan glove, letter high. Looks towards second. 0-1. Curveball waved out and missed for strike 2.
That's a great pitch there by King. That one that's just going to disappear to righties. Nothing doing from Martirano swinging at that, but such a tantalizing pitch, you got to go after it.
A gorgeous night for baseball here. Practically no clouds in the sky. Clear light blue skies over our heads. 0-2. Curveball check swing. Martirano did not go. He was fooled once by that pitch on the second pitch of the at-bat. Was able to hold up there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good job. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You know, he's just able to kind of look at that and say, you know what, I can't go after that pitch again.
King sets and fires the 1-2. Fastball taken low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Martirano out of North Carolina.
And great idea by King there now to go to that same spot with the fastball, because if you can keep that right on that corner, Martirano's not swinging at it because he thinks, well, there's probably a good chance it's going to break. I'm going to see that curveball, but if you get that firm one by him, that's big.
2-2. Sinking liner off the glove of King to second base. Barehanded attempt by Dern. It gets by him. Around third, heading home is McCall. He will score. To second base goes Brumfield. We'll see how they want to rule it. It's going to be an error on the play. An error on Durr specifically. And Plymouth takes a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, unfortunate for Durr. I mean, I don't think that he's necessarily getting Martirano, but the run's certainly not coming in if he's able to just make that play. For Durr, that's just trying to do too much in that situation, I think. You got to just say, you know what, I got to just eat it. There's 2 outs. Let King go out and get the next guy and save that run from coming in.
It's an E4 on Nick Durr. Brings back up the top of the lineup for Plymouth, and Andrew McNeil, the right fielder out of Stetson. Already 2-0 Pilgrims here off of 3 hits and an error. Two outs in the frame off a ground out by Salgazzo and a fly out from Pat Dorian. McNeil steps in, looks at a fastball knee high on the outside corner for strike 1. Thus far for King, he's doing a nice job getting ahead. He's working both sides of the plate. Has not walked a hitter yet either. With a look towards second, here's the 0-1. Curveball, knee high in there. Strike 2 outside Black.
Just such great snap to the curveball. I mean, he really, and with the speed that he comes to, that's a tough 1-2 punch.
Has a lot of late break on it as well. It's hard to identify before that 55-foot mark. Not easy. King sets the tan glove, let her high, deep breath. With a look at Brumfield on second, he deals home. A curveball called, strike 3, outside corner. Down looking goes Andrew McNeil for the first time here tonight. It's the 3rd strikeout for Charles King. For Plymouth, 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave 2 aboard with 1 Newport error. The Gulls will try and respond here in the bottom half of the second. Trailing Plymouth 2-0 right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. To the bottom half of inning number 2 we go here on Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. It's Newport and Plymouth, a Southern Division clash in the New England Collegiate Baseball League. Plymouth with a 2-0 lead, grabbing those 2 runs in the top half of the second on 3 hits and 1 Newport error. The Gulls will try and respond with hitters 4, 5, and 6, Ty Duvall, Tyler Green, and Nick Durr. Great job by that Plymouth team, though, Quinn, to find a way to get to King early on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it starts with putting balls in play. You see 2 productive, well, you know, not necessarily outs, but 2 balls that were not hits. You see the Gazzo ground out, and then, of course, the error on Martirano just to put it in play and see what can happen. You talked about defense being so pivotal. Again, the Gulls kind of hurt by it there, and the Pilgrims able to get out ahead.
So here's Ty Duvall. First pitch, curveball. Breaks on the outside corner for strike 1. Duvall, the catcher here tonight, out of Vanderbilt. Bats from the left side, swings an all-royal blue bat. Duvall this season hitting .294. 20 for 68, 10 runs scored. Drills this one. Deep right center field. Back on it to his right goes McNeil. It's over his head and 1 hops the fence. Lands in the deep right center field triangle. Around first, heading for second is Duvall. He will put the brakes on the second base bag with a leadoff double. It's Ty Duvall in scoring position for Tyler Green.
Well, you're right back in that position. You could cut this lead in half, and with 1 swing of the bat here. And that's just, it's so big. We see now back-to-back leadoff doubles for these 2 teams, and they really put your pitching staff, you know, in a tight spot. We'll see if Bermudez has any better luck trying to get out of it.
Big spot here for Tyler Green, the designated hitter out of Vanderbilt, hitting .268 this season, 19 for 71. 11 runs scored, 12 RBI, 7 walks, 18 strikeouts. First pitch to the right-handed hitting Green. There's a changeup that is in there for strike 1 on the inside corner. 0-1 on Tyler Green. Swings an all-black bat, the blue and orange batting gloves. Slightly bent knees, the squared stance. Bermudez sets the black glove letter high, looks towards second. 0-1, skipped in the dirt. Excellent block by Martirana, 1-1.
Talked about recently the leaps and bounds that Martirano has made behind the dish as he's kind of gotten comfortable with the Pilgrims pitching staff. You know, the bat hasn't quite come around in the way that you'd like it to so far, but that was never his biggest thing, drafted on the strength of his glove, and now he's really showing it off as of late for the Pilgrims.
Bermudez wears the navy blue stirrups there, the white sock underneath, as he deals a curveball that is swung on and missed there by Green off the outside corner. 1-2. And if you're a Gulls fan, you'd even like to see a productive out here by Green at the plate. Maybe hit a ground ball to the right side and find a way to get Duvall 90 feet further over to third base. We'll see if he can do it. Bermudez out of the stretch from the first base side of the rubber. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss on a changeup, strike 3. First strikeout of the night for Bermudez. That's a big pitch.
Absolutely it is. I mean, that strikeout couldn't come at a bigger time for you. If you're Bermudez, you have to get that out. You can't let the man get over from second. And now you take away the option to bring him in on 2 productive outs.
So here's Nick Durr, the second baseman from Florida State, hitting 161 this season. Durr 5 for 31 with a run scored and an RBI, 6 walks and 11 strikeouts. That's from the right side here against Bermudez. First pitch, fastball in there, knee-high outside corner. 0-1. Thus far, Bermudez, he really has been excellent. He's been very efficient as well. He has thrown 14 pitches through 1 1/3, 11 of which have been strikes. Bermudez out of the stretch once again, looks at Duvall on second, 0-1. Curveball grounded to short, picked up there by Gazzo. Throw to first, in time, 2 away.
And I'll tell you what I think the most impressive thing is you get tagged with a really hard hit double from Duvall, and you come right back. 5 of his 6 pitches since then have been in the strike zone, just showing no fear, sticking to his guns and going after the Gulls hitters.
You'll have a lot of success if you throw strikes, especially on the first pitch, and Bermudez has done that regularly here tonight. We'll see what Bruce Steele can do. The shortstop from Wake Forest steps in from the right side. Steele this season hitting .204, 11 for 54 with 5 runs scored. First pitch skied in the air, deep left center field. Going back to his right is Cheek, reaches up and puts it away for out number 3, about 5 feet in front of the left center field fence. It's an F8 if you are keeping score with us at home. For Newport, 4 hitters come up to the plate, but no runs to show for it. For the Gulls, no runs on 1 hit. They leave 1 aboard with no Plymouth errors. We are through 2 full innings of play here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. With your score, Plymouth 2, Newport nothing. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top half of inning number 3 we go here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Plymouth currently leads over Newport by a score of 2-0. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxoud, the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Quinn Kelly. And now we'll toss things over to Gulls field reporter Cam McGuire for a look around the NECBL scoreboard. How you doing, Cam?
Thanks, Darren. In the bottom of the 7th, Danbury is leading New Bedford 6-1. Sanford Maynards have a lead on Upper Valley Nighthawks 5-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Ocean State leads Mystic 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Over in Keene, Vermont is beating Keene 3-1 in the top of the 3rd. And the Valley Blue Sox have a 2-0 lead over Winnipesaukee in the bottom of the 2nd.
Thanks so much, Cam. Tyler Wyatt, the third baseman from Grand Canyon, steps in, looks at a breaking ball off the inner edge for ball 1. Wyatt 0 for 1 with a strikeout here tonight. King winds and deals in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. King falls behind the number 2 hitting Wyatt.
Not how you want to fall behind Wyatt here. You're at a part of the order with Wyatt and Cheek who you completely fooled through that first trip too, picking up 2 looking strikeouts. You don't want to get to the latter part of the order with them on.
2-0, big swing and a miss and an inside fastball, 2-1 here on Wyatt. We are in the top half of the 3rd. The base is empty, no one out. 2-0 Plymouth leads over Newport. Plymouth out hitting the Gulls 3-2. 2-1 check swing inside, 2-seam fastball. Did he go? No, he did not. The count 3-1 on Wyatt.
It's a good job by Wyatt to hold up there on a tough pitch, and a really good pitch by King.
It's a hard two-seam fastball there to hit. He winds and deals the 3-1. A fastball taken downstairs for ball 4. For the second consecutive inning, Plymouth puts the leadoff man on base. This one off a leadoff walk to Tyler Wyatt. Sets the scene here for Chase Cheek, the center fielder out of Duke. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Thus far for King, 3 strikeouts over 2 innings pitched.
Yeah, he's been really good. The 2-0 lead doesn't necessarily suggest it, but outside of the Sardinas double, nothing has been hard hit. He's done a good job of keeping the Pilgrims leaving the ball on the ground, and just going to have to work around a tight spot of the order.
First pitch chopped to first, glove by Dashbach, throws the second for 1, steals relay to first, is thrown over the head of Dashbach covering. No further advancement from Cheek, who reaches off the 3-6 fielder's choice.
Yeah, and that's one where, I mean, you like the attempt there from Steele, but there's just very little chance you're going to go 3-6-3 on a ball hit by Chase Cheek. Just too much speed going down the line. And, you know, now really you lose the out, but you trade off a lot of speed for the Pilgrims. Chase Cheek, who interestingly enough doesn't have a hit in now 12 at-bats against the Gulls, but has scored 3 times. Every time he's gotten aboard, whether it be a walk or hit by a pitch, he's managed to come around.
Well, Newport pitching coach Kevin Winterroad, who is basically the de facto manager here tonight due to Gulls manager Al Leyva being ejected from Monday night's game in the 18-6 loss against Sanford. He wanted to have a talk with field umpire Derek Kavinsky out there, maybe trying to get an interference call on Wyatt going into second base, though they do not overturn anything. 1 out here for Hernan Sardinas. Bats from the left side, stands tall, squares around a bunt as he takes a curveball below the knees for ball 1. But, you know, you check and you see the worst that could happen is they say no, which is what ended up happening right there.
Yeah, absolutely. The slide a touch late from Wyatt. I think he just didn't get down quick enough. Not a dirty slide by any means, though.
1-0 as Cheek goes. The pitch misses outside. Throw to second from Duvall is in time. What a throw from Ty Duvall. Chase Cheek caught stealing, 2 away.
Well, second time in as many games down here at Cardines that Cheek has been gunned down at second. That's a great shoot by Duvall and a fairly good jump by Cheek.
2-0 the count to Sardinas, who is 1 for 1 with a double and a run scored. Bats in the number cleanup spot in the number 4 spot. Looks at a 2-seam fastball that runs wide, and once again, Charles King falls behind another Plymouth hitter, this time 3-0 on Hernan Sardinas. Swings an all-black bat. Next pitch in there at the knees, outside corner. 3-1. Top 3 two-way, bases empty. 2-0 Plymouth leads. King holds the tan glove in front of his face. He winds and deals. Big swing and a miss on a changeup. 3-2. The count pushes full on the main first baseman, Hernan Sardinas.
Yeah, just a looping swing there from Sardinas, kind of pulling out early on that one. A really strong pitch from King, keeping it away from him.
King gets the sign from Duvall. The target set low and away. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Great pitch from Charles King. His 4th strikeout of the ball game. Retires Plymouth in order 1-2-3 for the Pilgrims. No runs, no hits, no Newport errors, none left aboard. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network with Plymouth out in front of Newport 2-0. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. Plymouth currently leads the Newport Gulls 2-0. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxoud, the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Quinn Kelly, and Gulls field reporter Cam McGuire. We are all here with you in the broadcast booth. And for Newport, hitters 8-9-1 due up Liam O'Regan, J.C. Flowers, Cameron Meisner, all to face James Bermudez, the southpaw out of St. Leo College, who enters his 3rd frame of work. Thus far for Bermudez, he has only allowed 2 hits and has struck out 1. Quinn, he's been very effective.
He has, and the biggest thing for him is he's kept his pitch count down. You're getting to a part of the season where you're really hoping that your starters can start to pile up some innings and keep the bullpen fresh. especially going through a stretch of games where you've got games almost every day for the next week and a half.
So here's Liam O'Regan, the right fielder out of Elon, looks at a fastball wide of the zone for ball 1. O'Regan this season hitting 173, 9 for 52 with 15 runs scored and 10 RBI. Here's the 1-0 from Bermudez. This one sharp ground ball, left side moving to his left. Goes the third baseman, Wyatt, throw to first. Will get away from Sardinas. So how about that? We'll see how they want to rule. It's going to be an E5 there on Wyatt. And O'Regan is aboard here off the air.
Yeah, that's just a mistake from Wyatt. He has the time to get O'Regan and just goes to the sidearm toss and really doesn't put anything on it, doesn't stay firm and get it over to Sardinas. And Sardinas, who's really one of the better defensemen on this team, just couldn't do anything there to stay on the bag.
So it's a big spot here for J.C. Flowers, the center fielder out of Florida State, will bat from the right side. Flowers has been excellent this year for Newport, a .360 batting average. Looks at a changeup in the dirt for ball 1. He is 9 for 25 with 5 runs scored, an RBI, and 10 strikeouts. He resides in Orange Park, Florida. Bermudez tucks the black glove about letter high as he gets this sign from Martirano. Now sets the black glove at the letters. Off of first is O'Regan. 1 out, taken down and away. 2 balls and no strikes on J.C. Flowers.
Not a guy you want to fall behind. Flowers, a really good eye at the plate. Got to find a way to come up into the zone and see if you can work around a defensive gaff that puts the leadoff man aboard.
It's a very solid defensive fielding team by Plymouth. 2-0. Taken low and inside. 3-0. Bermudez falls behind, and we've talked about this constantly here, Quinn. It's a Plymouth team with a .970 fielding percentage. Just 35 errors they've made entering play here tonight. The best fielding team in the NECBL. It's an uncharacteristic error there from Wyatt. Bermudez out of the stretch, the 3-0. Fastball taken belt high outside corner for strike 1. Bermudez works out of the stretch from the first base side of the rubber, gets his sign from Martirano, and deals. A breaking ball taken low and inside for ball 4. Great at bat from J.C. Flowers. To second base goes Liam O'Regan. It's a no-out walk here for Flowers. Brings back up the top of the order, and Cameron Meisner, the left fielder out of Missouri, 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base.
There you see that error now proved to be really troublesome for the Pilgrims. We've talked before here on the broadcast about how it just seems like the few errors they do make come back to bite them, and now you put yourself in a position where instead of a man on first, nobody out, you've got a man in scoring, or with 1 out, you've got a man in scoring position with nobody out.
Bermudez looks at O'Regan on second. The pitch home. This one line to the left center field, slicing away from Cheek, but he moves to his right and tracks it down for out number 1. It's a well-struck ball from Cameron Meisner. But an F8 if you are keeping score with us at home. We'll see what Carter Aldretti can do, the third baseman from Arizona State. 1 for 1 with a single.
That's 2 times now for Meisner that he's come up and he's really tagged the ball off of Bermudez. He's hit 2 really well, just towards defenders. And Bermudez getting lucky with him. I'd guess by the end of the night, Meisner will get the better of him.
We'll see what will happen here between Aldretti and Bermudez. It's a St. Leo College Arizona State matchup. Bermudez against Aldretti, lefty versus righty. Off of first is Flowers, he walked. Off of second is O'Regan, he reached on an error. As the first pitch curveball misses low to Aldretti, it is 1-0. The shadows continuing to creep down this third base line towards the mound, as the entire front half of the mound is covered in shadows. Bermudez fires the 1-out. Fastball called strike outside corner, 1-1.
Nice pitch there by Bermudez. I'm sure he'd like to keep that a little bit lower in the zone, a bit too elevated there, and if Aldretti's ready for that pitch, he could do a lot of damage with it.
Still no hits in the frame for Newport. Plymouth out hitting the Gulls 3-2. Bermudez sets. A long pause on the mound. The leg kick 1-1. Misses down and away. Back to pick to first from Martirano, not in time. Diving back in safely is J.C. Flowers. Just ahead of the tag from Sardinas. That was a close play.
It absolutely was. A little bit of A little bit of a stark reminder of a throw that he made down in a bases loaded situation here that ended up giving Newport a costly run for the Pilgrims on a throw that he fired over Zach McGuire, the first baseman's head. Shows that, you know, he's got the confidence to go right out and do it again.
The count is 2-1 on Aladretti. The pitch. This one chopped up the middle. To his right goes Dorian. Steps on the second base bag for one. The throw to first is in time. It's a 4-3 unassisted double play. What a play by Dorian. And the inning is over for Newport. No runs on no hits. They will leave just one aboard with one Plymouth error. We are through 3 full innings of play here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. With your score, Plymouth 2, Newport nothing, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And we welcome you back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network as we go to the top half of the 4th. It's a 2-0 lead for the Plymouth Pilgrims, who are out hitting Newport 3-2. And for the play-by-play call of innings 4, 5, and 6, we will turn things over to the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Quinn Kelly.
Thank you very much, Darren. For the Pilgrims here in inning number 4, it will be 5, 6, and 7. Sal Gazzo, Pat McCall, and Pat Dorian due up. King held this part of the order to just a single hit in his first trip through. Of course, Gazzo had a well-struck ball to the right side that helped Sardinas advance in front of him and give the Pilgrims their first run. A play later on the McCall single. We'll see what the 5, 6, 7 men are able to do here in their second trip up against King. King kicks and delivers his first to Gazzo, is going to miss upstairs.
Big spot here for King, too. And, you know, your job on the mound, of course, keep throwing strikes, but keep this deficit where it's at. Keep Newport in this ball game.
This one hit in the air. Shallow out to right, trailing back. Could be trouble. It'll get down out of the reach of Andrew Dashbach. Gazzo up to second, and it's a leadoff double here to start the 4th.
Yeah, you know, you have to credit Gazzo there, keeping his hands inside that baseball. It was an elevated fastball, not one easy to get the barrel on. Great effort there from Dashbach, but Gazzo, you could tell, was thinking second base right out of the box and took a hard turnaround first and was able to beat the throw from Durr.
So now that'll bring up McCall.
Plymouth, for the 3rd time in 4 plate innings, has put the leadoff man on base. You know, it's little things like that that can really help your offense get in a rhythm.
Absolutely. We saw the last time the Pilgrims were down here, they scored every time but one. They put the leadoff man aboard. Such a vital part to a good offense. First pitch is in there. Called strike on Pat McCall. Thought that one had trailed a bit inside, but the home plate umpire, Joe Gravina, gives King the call.
King has been starting out a lot of hitters with fastballs. Just something to keep in mind here. He's done a great job. He's been around the plate a lot here tonight.
Now the 0-1 is going to miss upstairs to the big lefty to even up the count.
He's only given up 1 walk, and that was a leadoff walk to Tyler Wyatt back in the 3rd. And what ended being a 1-2-3 inning for Newport.
Gives a look back to second, comes with the 1-1. Big swing and a miss there from McCall. Good elevated fastball there from King.
From what it looks like up here, you'll see a couple different types of fastballs. You'll see the 4-seam fastball with a little more velocity, more carry on that pitch. Then the 2-seam fastball, which King will take a little off of, but tons of horizontal movement on that pitch. Both are very hard to hit.
Trying to get one to put away McCall. The 1-2 swung on and fouled off. McCall fought him for a tough at-bat before singling in his last plate appearance. Looking to do the same here, hang tough with the 2 strikes on him.
And you can tell McCall really shortening up at the plate. It's a significantly smaller stride than when he had no strikes, 1 strike on him. So he's really, you can tell, trying to put that ball in play, trying to do what Sal Gazzo did in that 2nd inning where he had a runner on second and Sardinas moved him to 3rd on the ground ball to the right side.
1-2 runs inside. McCall jumps out of the way and takes ball 2. Count even again. McCall, the lefty, hit .355 this past season at Harvard. He's shown flashes of the power that yielded him 6 homers for the Crimson in the spring.
It's an interesting move there by King to work on the inner half of the plate here, understanding that a ground ball to the right side will definitely move Gonzo over to third. We'll see, maybe he goes back to the outside corner.
He doesn't. This one is lifted out towards right, and that is going to hit off of the building in foul territory, and McCall will have to jump back in.
Yeah, right off the warehouse there. It's an excellent pitch by King. It was down in the zone. It's a hard pitch to drive. Went to the curveball there, actually. There you can see it. And you can tell McCall out in front of that pitch. That's why he hit it down that right field line. And we are awaiting a huge pitch here between King and McCall.
Absolutely are. Another bit at the break-even pitch here for King. We'll see what he comes with. Gazzo with a leadoff second. 2-2. Swung on and missed. He gets McCall. This time does trail away, as you said, Darren, and picks up the K.
Yeah, that's the two-seam fastball that we were talking about. And even if you take a couple miles per hour off that pitch, it'll at least ensure that you'll have a better chance of locating that pitch where you want it. And there you can see, you know, King going inside with that curveball like you called, and then goes right back to that outside two-seam fastball. Changing eye levels, changing where you hit that ball on the plate, because he worked inside, now goes out. It's a great sequence there by King.
Now he's got Pat Dorian to deal with. Fly out victim in his last at bat. Swings at this one, hits it back up towards the middle. Fielded by Steele at short. Fires on to first to get Dorian. Gazzo does move up, but now 2 away for the Pilgrims in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, you know, 1 at bat too late. And it would have, if you're a Plymouth fan, of course, you would have loved to see McCall do exactly that. Even a ground ball to the shortstop in Steele, if he has to move it all to his left, you know, you're pretty ensured that the runner will move from second to third in Gonzo, which he does there. But now King really controls this inning here on the mound. He'll work against Brumfield, who is 1 for 1.
Single through the right side for Brumfield in his first at bat. Looking for similar results. Takes a pitch inside for ball 1. Gazzo started this inning off with a little flare double out to right, kind of in no man's land, hugging close to the first base line. Too far away for O'Regan to get to, and Dashback couldn't find it. This one swung on and lifted high by Brumfield. It appears as though Flowers has a beat on it. He does, settles under it, and makes the catch. King gets out of the jam and holds the score at 2-0. We're headed to the bottom of the fourth. Gulls trying to come back in this one, down 2-0 to the Pilgrims on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Back here for the bottom of the 4th, Jonathan Bermudez back out on the bump. Defense for the Pilgrims has helped out Bermudez. Pair of double plays through the first 3 innings here for them has helped him to keep the Gulls scoreless through the first third of this ball game. He will be dealing with the heart of the Gulls order here in inning number 4, though. He's got 3, 4, 5, Dashback, Duvall, and Green.
We've talked about getting the leadoff man on. Newport's done that 2 out of 3 times here tonight. That's great. And you look at that 3rd inning, the Gulls get runners on first and second with no outs, but you don't push any across. You know, it's things like that against an excellent team like Plymouth, where you got to find a way to get a run there. You know, you got to find a way to get this offense going here in favorable situations. We'll see what the heart of the order can do. Dashbach, Duvall, Green, lots of power. We'll see what the Gulls can do offensively.
Dashbach grounded out into an inning-ending double play back in the 1st. Out of Stanford, he's up here, hits this one, a rocket back up the middle, away from the dive of Pat Dorian into center for a leadoff hit. 3rd straight inning, the Gulls have put the leadoff man aboard.
Just like Plymouth has done, you know, so both teams, you can tell offensively, both these teams really starting to find the rhythm. Now you got Ty Duvall, he's 1 for 1 with a double. You're getting what you want. You're getting that early offensive production. Newport now with its 3rd hit of the ball game. You have to find a way to start pushing some runners across the plate. This Newport team with a lot of talent, we've talked about it. Now the Gulls have to find a way to get the offense going here.
We'll see if Duvall can spark it here. Breaking ball misses away from Bermudez. You mentioned Duvall with a double in his first at bat. Really the strongest hit ball off of Bermudez, and a pull hit at that. He drilled it out to that right center gap across the ivy. Kind of engulfs that portion of the wall. In with a stand-up double. Bermudez eyes first, comes with the 1-0. This one hit on the fly, shallow out to left, trailing over in making the catch is Wyatt. The strong throw back to first with the hit and run on, sails over the bag, and now we're going to get another runner. There goes Dashbach up to second, so the Pilgrims with a key chance to double up Dashbach, who is off on the hit and run. And Wyatt misses with another throw again. This one much tougher to third, but just balloons it over Sardinas, and the Pilgrims cannot pick up the double play, and now the Gulls with a man on second and just one out.
Yeah, it's going to be another E5 there on Wyatt. And, you know, it's a tough play. And third base is a tough position to play because you've got so much time over there. You know, after you field the baseball, they call it the hot corner, of course. But whenever you field that ball, you've got a couple extra steps to think about your throw. And unfortunately right there you could tell that Wyatt with a lot of time, with Dashbach basically on second when he caught that ball, he had a lot of time to think about that throw. And sometimes, you know, the less you think, the more effective you are, at least in the game of baseball. It's a mental sport, but something to keep in mind.
First pitch of ball to Tyler Green, a strikeout victim in his last at bat. Bermudez comes to the set. He's got Dashbach now on second base, trying to work around another runner in scoring position for the Gulls. Misses upstairs, though, 2-0 now to Green.
You know, even on a play like that, you may even be better off with a long hop. You know, maybe instead of throwing that ball, what is it, probably about, 100 feet or so, maybe you throw it about 50 feet and let it one hop into the glove of the first baseman, Sardinas.
It appeared as though as he was kind of trailing back on the ball, didn't really think he had as much time as maybe he did, kind of threw it while still falling away, and that's a tough throw to make, you say, that distance, as Green fans at a nice breaking ball on the outside there from Bermudez. And it's so hard to judge when you're moving away and making a long throw like that, how how you're going to get that distance, and Wyatt overshoots it. And what could have been really a huge defensive play for the Pilgrims instead gives way to a very tight situation here for Bermudez. 2-1 pitch in there on the outside, Black. Very nice breaking ball again from Bermudez. And he's even the count back up. One away here. Green, the designated hitter in the box. Back-to-back Vanderbilt Commodores here in the heart of the Gulls order.
Now what you've seen here from Bermudez, working away from a lot of hitters that he faces. Significantly more than Charles King does. So that has to change your approach a little bit at the plate if you're Newport.
2-2 pitch, check swing. Do not believe he went around. They're going to give the check. They'll say he did not. That's first base umpire Derek Ivinsky, who's playing right about the second base bag. Talked before, with the three umpire crew, you don't necessarily get the best view at it with a runner on, but I don't think was he down the first base line. That one's getting called either way.
It's a very good pitch there by Bermudez, and he had one to waste. And even so, even if you walk Green, you still, you put runners on first and second, a ground ball could get you out of the frame with a double play.
So now the payoff pitch from Bermudez, and that's what he does. He puts Green on, misses away. It's the second walk of the day for Bermudez, a guy who does not issue a lot of walks. That'll make it 14 on the season here through 37 and 2/3 innings. Not bad walk numbers, but they've kind of piled up for him as of late.
Huge spot here for Nick Durr. Once again, Newport with runners on first and second with an out in a frame. Can the Gulls find a way to get another, to get a run here in the ballgame?
Bermudez kicks and deals the first to Durr as a check swing on one upstairs. They'll say he didn't go. That one appeared to be a bit closer, but he's able to hold up on the high fastball.
So what Bermudez will do is, we talked about it, he'll work away, but he's not afraid to work elevation. He's not afraid to work eye level. He'll throw that fastball up at the letters and then paint the knees on the outside corner. But again, likes to work that outer third of the plate.
1-0 pitch. Now this one swung on, lifted, foul, and out of play. Heading towards the street here, surrounding Cardines.
So on the flip side for Newport offensively, you got to be looking at that right center field gap. And here at Cardines Field, it's a very favorable place to hit the baseball. It's about 315 feet to that right center field indent in front of the right center field triangle. So a rather close shot the other way for right-handed hitters.
Elevated fastball there from Bermudez gets Durr. He swings and misses at that one up at about the letters. And certainly when you've got a guy, especially here, Durr, the righty, in on Bermudez, who's pitching away to most everybody, an excellent opportunity to go that way. Just take the ball and serve it back out there to right.
Definitely takes discipline, though. That's one of the harder things to execute about it.
1-2 pitch now from Bermudez. Breaking ball misses away. He's been working that slider a lot here in inning number 4. It's had mixed results for him thus far.
And you have to credit Bermudez for really doing a nice job getting ahead. He's thrown a lot of pitches here, at least in this frame. Now up to 40 through 3 1/3. Not a bad pitch count. 24 of them have been for strikes here tonight.
We're going to get a time called here with the 2-2. Brandon Martirano will go out to have a chat with his pitcher. Let's try to keep him in control. You said it, it's climbed here in inning number 4. 3 and 4 really. Of course, in 3, forced to throw a few extra pitches thanks to the error on the first play by Wyatt. And now here in the 4th, just staying away from the zone a little bit in an effort to work out a trouble here in the second trip through the order. 2-2 coming from Bermudez. Looks back to second and deals. Swung on and missed. Durr comes up empty. Second K of the day for Bermudez. And the Gulls are down to a final out to try to make something happen here with the runner in scoring position.
One of the first times tonight, Quinn, I think, Bermudez has gone to the inside half of the plate. Went right there with that fastball. Again, you know, when you look at tendencies, there are times that, you know, that tendencies are what they are. They're generalizations, you know. And Bermudez not afraid there to go to that inner half of the plate. Placed that pitch perfectly right at the knees, and Durr swung over top.
Well, he's not out of the woods, got Steele, but gets him to cut it empty air. Swinging through strike number 1. The Wake Forest shortstop flew out to center in his first at bat. The ball he put a good charge into.
The key here to let that baseball get deep. Think right center field. That's the key here offensively if you want to consistently square up the ball here against Bermudez, who's working away a lot.
Paints the outside black there to bring the count to 0-2. He's ahead of Steele. Dashbach on second. Green behind him at first after he walked. A fly out and a strikeout have given you your 2 outs in the inning for Bermudez. Looking to pick up perhaps a second strikeout to get us to the 5th here. Bermudez sets. The lefty gives a look back to Dashbach at second. Comes. Goes in the dirt, ball 1.
Yeah, it's that slider. It's got a lot of movement on it. And what I like most about that pitch, it doesn't throw it that hard. It's not a hard slider. But what that does is a significant difference between the velocity in your fastball and your slider. So maybe an 88-mile-an-hour fastball with that, 78-mile-an-hour slider, that fastball looks like it's 90 miles an hour because of the difference in that pitch.
So he goes here, 1-2. Pitch upstairs and away. Went back to the fastball, but could not locate. Saw on the strikeout to Durr. Like you said, he went slider to bring the count 2-2 and then came inside with the fastball. Got Durr swinging. This time he goes slider back to the fastball to try to punch out Steele, but doesn't bring it within the zone. Steele doesn't chase. Now 2-2, 2 outs here in a 2-0 ball game. Bermudez deals, swung on and foul tipped. Steele just stays alive. Martirano couldn't squeeze it.
Yeah, right off the mitt of Martirano, and there's the changeup there from Bermudez. And you can tell that his out pitch, that his real main secondary pitch, is that slider that we've called here numerous times here tonight. But if you can find a way to get that changeup over the plate, you have 3 pitches that you can throw consistently for strikes. Makes you a lot tougher to hit.
It'll be the 45th coming here for Bermudez. He needs Martirano to run through the signs one more time before he's ready with it. Trying to end the 4th here on this batter. Steele, the righty, awaits the 2-2. Bermudez comes and misses upstairs. Bermudez just a hair above the zone. That one flying in above the belt. And now it's a full count.
and predominantly two-seam fastballs here for Bermudez, so it's really a double-edged sword. Of course, it's very hard to hit, you know, a pitch with a lot of horizontal movement on it, but there you see it right there. It's also hard to locate. You know, you have to really know your release point on that pitch because it's going to run away from right-handed hitters. And great job there by Steele to lay off that pitch.
Payoff pitch coming here from Bermudez. He deals as the runners take off and fires one in. Locates that low and outside corner and K's up. Steele looking to get out of the fourth. The Gulls have had 6 men on through 4, haven't seen one touch third yet. And they trail the Pilgrims 2-0 heading to the 5th inning. Bermudez continuing to dance out of trouble. Back here for the start of the 5th. The Pilgrims and the Gulls going at it. Game number 4 of this 6-game set here in the summer season. It will be 9-1 and 2 for the Pilgrims due up here in the inning. Brandon Martirano looking to get things going here off of Charles King, who outside of a tough inning in the second has been very strong for the Gulls. Got Martirano to ground to second base in his last at bat. Play botched by Nick Durr there that allowed a run to come in the second for the Pilgrims to give them the 2-0 lead. First pitch to Martirano in there for a called strike. King works. This one hit softly again on a line and caught at second by Durr for out number 1.
King, you can really tell, starting to settle down here, Quinn, and that's exactly what you want if you're a Newport fan. He's retired 4 in a row, and in addition, 6 of his past 7. So that's what you want. He's getting ahead. He's throwing strikes. He's keeping you in the ballgame.
Absolutely is. He's got Andrew McNeil now, who is 0 for 2 on the day, and really it's been the second trip through the order that has been no problem for King. Only man who's gotten a hit in the second time through is Gazzo, as McNeil swings over top of the breaking ball there to fall behind 0-1. And even that hit wasn't a well-hit ball, just a little flare. He's got a walk, and Cheek reached on a fielder's choice, but outside of that, the Pilgrims have not been able to accomplish anything against King. Breaking ball misses this time, trailing towards the shoe tops of the lefty McNeil, leaving the count at 1-1.
Plymouth out hitting Newport 4-3. The Pilgrims as well. 2 uncharacteristic errors. 1 for Newport in this contest.
Have yet to come back to bite them, though. They've been able to work around thanks to some strong and brass knuckle type pitching from Bermudez. 2-1 now as King misses to McNeil. The Stetson Hatter, right fielder tonight for the Pilgrims, is ahead. Takes strike 2 though there to even up the count.
And what's interesting as well, when you look at those 4 hits, I mean, here's what the difference has been. 2 of those have been for doubles. So you've got 2 extra base hits. Half of your offense has been hits for extra bases. That really bodes well for this team.
Something that you'll see sometimes on a guy throwing as hard as King. As he fires one in there, second straight time, McNeil has been caught looking. And there are 2 away in the 5th as King continues to cruise here. Tyler Wyatt coming up. That's the thing. I mean, you find guys, when they are able to get around on your fastball and put the wood to it, typically with your velocity, they're going to give it a bit of a ride.
And you can tell 2 power pitchers here tonight between Bermudez and King. King with 6 strikeouts through 4 2/3, and that's a very, very impressive mark.
This one hit softly on the ground, charging in from short fielding on the backhand is Steele. Long throw across to get Wyatt. Swinging on the first pitch and coming up as the 3rd out. King through 5 innings has looked very strong. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Pilgrims ahead 2-0 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Back here, bottom of the 5th inning. Darren Zaslow and Quinn Kelly on the call with you. Ben Maxell, the Gulls scorekeeper, and Cam McGuire, the Gulls field reporter, also here in the booth with us. It's a 2-0 ball game. The Pilgrims got out ahead in the 2nd inning, scoring twice off of King. That's been it for the offense. A lot of base runners, mostly for the Gulls, it has seemed over the last couple of innings, but Bermudez has continued to work out of trouble.
Yeah, the difference has been situational hitting, and we've talked about that numerous times on the broadcast, and that's what makes baseball so great. You can have 10 hits in a game, and you can score 2 runs because you don't have great situational hitting. That's what Newport needs to focus on here in the back half of this game. It's starting to be crunch time here because, of course, we're getting into the back half. We're getting into the later innings. Newport doing a great job, absolutely, getting runners on base. And they're doing it early. They're doing it with no outs. They're doing it with 1 out. But you have to find a way to get a runner to third. You have to find a way to score them. The difference there is situational hitting.
Absolutely. They are 0 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position thus far, but to have that many chances with runners in scoring position tells you more than likely they're going to find a way to break through and get a run. And in a ball game that is just separated by 2 runs, far from over here in Newport. So Bermudez will have 8-9-1 here to start off inning number 5. First pitch is swung on, lifted high out to right. Trailing back is McNeil. He's under it. A little bit of a late movement, but he comes up with the catch and puts Liam O'Regan away for out number 1.
See, I know that's a flyout, but I like that approach there by O'Regan. He's doing what you want. He's going the other way with that ball. He was a little under it. It was an elevated fastball there. But that's the approach. That's a winning approach, is finding a way to be disciplined, to let that ball get deep in the strike zone, to hit it the other way. We'll see what J.C. Flowers can do, who walked back in the 3rd.
So now Bermudez kicks and deals. First one swung on and hit to 3rd. Wyatt backs up a step, double pumps, fires to 1st, and just in time to get Flowers. Another bit of a shaky throw there from Wyatt, but does get the job done, and it's 2 pitches, 2 outs for Bermudez.
And that's what I'm talking about is, it is the hot corner, but even still there, a 2-hopper to Wyatt, he still has tons of time. And it's easy to get in your own head, and I'm not sure that's exactly what's happening with Wyatt, but it's certainly a possibility. But he makes a good throw there, a strong throw over to first. Credit Sardinas being able to grab that high throw.
So now it'll be Cameron Meisner digging in the box. He's 0 for 2 today. Bermudez looking for a nice quick inning here as he fires that one over the top of the zone. Pitch number 50 misses for ball 1 to Meisner. Bermudez kicks and delivers the 1-0. Swung on right back up the middle and just over the glove of Bermudez. The Gulls have had a base runner in every inning. This one comes, however, with 2 outs.
Yeah, 2-out single here for Meisner. You bring up Aldretti, who's 1 for 2. You have a lot of talent in this lineup. Newport and Plymouth now tied in the hits column at 4 apiece. So you can tell, and you said it perfectly, Quinn, this offense, has, seen glimpses of success here in each inning. But the Gulls have to find a way to put it all together here. Maybe they can do it with 2 outs.
They've got Carter Aldretti, third baseman out of Arizona State. 1 for 2 today, singled and grounded into an inning-ending double play in the 3rd. Bermudez will work out of the stretch with Meisner on first. Sets his glove just above waist high. He's going to check on Meisner. Diving back in is the Mizzou left fielder in plenty of time. Bermudez here ready to come with the first to Aldretti. He does, and fires one in that just misses. Trailed a bit too far inside to Aldretti. It'll be 1-0.
One of the few times tonight we've seen Bermudez work that inner 3rd of the plate and just missed with that delivery.
So Bermudez here trying to get out of the inning. Fires in a breaking ball and is now behind 2-0, and this is where you run into trouble. You get those first 2 outs quickly, as quickly as you could with 2 pitches, but now the Gulls settling in here, the last 2 hitters working the counts a little bit and trying to bring that pitch count up.
If you can get a runner in scoring position for Andrew Dashbach, who awaits on deck, who is also 1 for 2, you give yourself a chance to score here in the frame.
Bermudez eyes Meisner, who's dancing off the bag, steps off, fakes the throw, and just sends Meisner scampering back to first. 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th, a 2-0 ball game, but Gulls in a position with 1 swing of the bat to bring it to level. This one is swung on and lifted out to right. That one is up and over the wall, a home run. A line shot that just sneaks out of here, and just like that, 2-2.
Carter Aldretti here homers for the second time in the past 2 games, and guess what? 2 two-run home runs over that right field fence. Is that what sparks this Newport offense? We'll find out, but that's what you want. Great piece of hitting by Carter Aldretti. He has been spectacular here for this Newport team.
Well, there you go. It's after so many guys get aboard with less than 2 outs for the Gulls. Finally, it's the big swing that gets it done with 2 outs. 2-out rally for the Gulls. Brings in a pair and has this a tie ball game once again, starting over here in the 5th. Andrew Dashbach digging in. Dashbach 1 for 2. Rounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the first. Swings at this one and lifts it foul into the netting. And reached with a single in the 4th. First Gull here now to come up in back-to-back innings. The Gulls have struck for 2 with 2 away in the 5th. It's been the big fly that has been the problem for Bermudez. Give up 4 in his last appearance at Danbury. This one now hit well out to center. Cheek to the wall, looking up and watching it hit off the top of the wall. Back into play. Rounding second and holding there as a strong throw from Cheek comes into the infield is Dashbach, and things coming unhinged a bit here for Bermudez with 2 away in the 5th.
Well, hopefully we can get a replay on that, because that's about as high off the fence as you can get. You can see Dashbach waiting back on the curveball. Check it out on your screen in front of you. That ball is literally off the top of the fence. A couple inches to spare there for Bermudez, but now you're starting to see it. This Newport team finding a rhythm offensively. 3 hits in a row, 2 of them going for extra bases. The double from Dashbach, the 2-run home run from Aldretti. And I'll tell you what, here between Newport and Plymouth, you know you're going to get a great game. The last time these 2 teams met on July 12th, Newport victorious 5-4 in that contest in 11 innings. Newport in that game trailed at one point at 4-1. So you're going to get a great game between these 2 teams, very evenly matched in talent.
First pitch misses from Bermudez, who really has to be considering himself lucky to not be behind in this ball game now. You said it, just inches away from a home run there. Frankly, an inch away from a home run was Dashbach. Hit it to the absolute top of the 28-foot wall out there in a very near straightaway center. A real shot from him. It stays in the park and gives Bermudez a chance to get out of the inning. Now this one swung on, lifted foul and out of play. It's now 1-1 on Ty Duvall, the catcher, who has already taken Bermudez for a double as well. 3 extra base hits in the contest for the Gulls, whose bats are coming alive here. 3 straight hits in the 5th. Bermudez can ill afford to let the rally go any longer. A hit here from Duvall gives away the lead. He looks back to second, comes 1-1 pitch upstairs.
We've talked about that pitch count here for Bermudez, and it certainly, has skyrocketed here. And you have to credit this Newport team putting the bat on the ball and seeing a lot of pitches as well. It takes a lot of discipline, against left-handers that have a lot of power behind the fastball who can locate. It takes a lot of, mental strength to be able to wait back on an outside fastball, to hit it to right center field, or like Carter Aldretti did, hit it over the right field fence. It's not easy to do here. Newport being tested offensively, but like you mentioned, Quinn, they are certainly, finding their stride here in the inning.
A meeting between Martirano and Bermudez just concluded. The count is 2-1 here on Duvall. Vandy product up in his 3rd at bat. Lefty-lefty matchup. Bermudez sets with Dashbach on second. Comes and fires in a fastball. Very well placed right on the inside to even up the count. Bermudez a pitch away. from getting out. Duval a hit away from giving the Gulls the lead. Bermudez taking his time here with the man aboard. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, flared out to left. Appears to be curling, but yes, will curl just foul towards the bullpen area, just about a foot or two to the left of the line. That saves a run for the Pilgrims and will bring Duval back to the box.
And Quinn, we haven't even talked about, the approach for a left-handed hitter. A guy like Duval, and the same thing. Bermudez is going to be trying to work away from a lot of these left-handed hitters as well. It's no different between righty and lefty for Bermudez on the mound. He's doing what he feels comfortable with. Again, I really like that swing there by Duval. Not trying to do too much with that pitch. Same thing for lefties. You're thinking that left center field gap. We'll see what Duval can do here with 2 strikes.
Another 2-2 offering from Bermudez. Swung on, check. Swung on and fouled. Back to the backstop. Duval stays alive. Count stays at 2-2.
Newport already in this inning. 2 runs scored on 3 hits. The Gulls out hitting Plymouth 6-4. You can tell the Newport offense coming alive. Sparked by the Aldretti 2-run home run, his 2nd of the season.
Bermudez here with his 3rd 2-2 bid. Looks back to Dashbach, and again. Delivers, breaking ball, just missed. A nice pitch there from Bermudez, but the breaking ball sailing just over the top of the zone to bring the count to full on Duval.
Yeah, it's a very close pitch right at the letters there. A call that probably could have gone either way. But a great eye there by Duval to stay alive here in the count.
Bermudez will have to fire at least one more. Duval's been working him here. 6th batter of inning number 5. Payoff pitch. Swung on, flared out to left again. This time it is a bit more clear foul. And out of play as it one hops over the wall and into the stands. So we'll do it again.
Duval seeing a lot of pitches here against Bermudez.
9th pitch of the at-bat coming. He's put a couple precariously close to fair territory down and left. Bermudez trying to sneak one by him here. 3-2 offering. And it runs in and hits Duval. So Duval will head down to first, hit by the pitch. And now there are 2 aboard for Bermudez. And again, normally, really not of much consequence, given that you still have, well, now you've given yourself the force out at any of the infield bags. But really, for Bermudez, who has struggled here with 2 outs, you hate to see another batter come to the plate.
It's a great job there by Duval, and you foul off a few pitches, you take a few. You really work that pitch count for Bermudez. I'm curious to see if this will be the end of the night for him.
Coach Greg Zackerson out on the mound to chat with him. Has not signaled to the bullpen. Despite the struggles here, I would argue it would be a bit of an early hook for Bermudez, but definitely in need of a moment of pause to try to collect himself. He's going to have Tyler Green come into the box, who's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout and a walk. And he really has to go right after him.
Well, if you're able to look on the screen in front of you, no action brewing for Plymouth. On the other hand, it looked like Jack Little was warming up for Newport. So, kind of gives you a little frame of mind for how much these starters have left in them. They have pretty much matched each other. I know on the scoreboard, obviously, it's a 2-2 game. But in terms of rhythm, in terms of keeping these teams in the ball games, I think that Bermudez, as well as King, has done a nice job giving their team a chance to win this game offensively.
Absolutely, they have. It'll be the 67th pitch now for Bermudez, who got the first 2 outs of the inning, right around 50 pitches. Fires this one in. It's lifted high out to shallow left. Gazzo trailing out. Coming in is Brumfield, and he will call off the shortstop and make the catch to get the Pilgrims out of the inning. So Bermudez finally unravels a bit in the bottom of the 5th after getting 2 quick outs. He gives up a single and a home run to Carter Aldretti. Hit after that, this game is level, 2-2, heading to the 6th on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Back for the start of the 6th, Quinn Kelly, Darren Zaslow. Scorekeeper for the Gulls, Ben Max out, and now we're going to kick it over to the field reporter for the Gulls, Cam McGuire, to give us a look around the league.
Danbury and New Bedford doubleheader today. Danbury took the first game over New Bedford 6-1. They are currently in the top of the 4th, tied at 1-1. In the bottom of the 6th, Sanford Mainers hold an edge over Upper Valley at 6-2. Ocean State has a lead on Mystic 4-1 in the top of the 7th. Vermont Mountaineers have a lead on Keene 3-2 in the top of the 6th. And Valley Blue Sox have a 5-1 lead over Winnipesaukee in the bottom of the 5th.
Thank you very much, Cam. So it will be 3, 4, and 5 for the Pilgrims here in inning number 6. Good spot of the order to try to get things going. Cheek leads things off. He's 0 for 2, but a pair of guys behind him that each have a double in tonight's contest. King out for his 6th. Fires one in, look to go to the breaking ball there as Cheek flashed the bunt, but misses over the top of the zone. It's 1-0 on the Duke center fielder. King comes, this one swung on and hit foul down the first base line. Cheek out ahead of that one.
King thus far has thrown 71 pitches here tonight through 5 innings. 46 of which have been 4 strikes.
Now the 1-1. This one swung on, hit well out to center, but right at Flowers, who takes a step in and puts away that one, and Cheek retired for out number 1.
Nice read there by J.C. Flowers. A well-struck ball from Cheek. Just allowed out number 1, but King, you can really tell he has been excellent. He has retired the past 7 Plymouth hitters in a row.
I'll have Hernan Sardinas looking to continue the streak. First pitch to him is a breaking ball, and now you can see him really going to that a bit more often here as the game wears on. Starts Sardinas off with it.
He's definitely varying what he is throwing on that first pitch to each hitter.
0-1 goes breaking ball again and gets Sardinas to swing on that. Head coming flying way out. And it's 0-2. Sardinas singled and scored the first run for the Pilgrims, doubled and scored. Swings, fans really at that one. The high fastball gets him. Back-to-back Ks for Sardinas, and now 7 on the night for King.
Yeah, King 7 through 5 2/3, and really is a power pitcher. In his first outing against Mystic, just went 5 innings, only had 3 strikeouts, but an excellent ERA at 1.80. It's exactly where you want it.
Now he's got Gazzo. Swings at the first pitch, foul, tips it, and gets away from the catcher, but strike 1. Gazzo grounded out to first. A deep play in the hole made by Dashbach, flipping onto the covering King. After that, a double on a little flare out to right. Stranded at third in the 4th.
And since Gazzo's double, we haven't seen very hard contact by this Plymouth offense. I think you could say Chase Cheek's fly out to center field that began the 6th. That was probably the best offensive piece of hitting that we've seen in these batters that have been retired in a row. 8 in a row thus far. It's been impressive.
Absolutely right. This one swung on, hit well out to center. Trailing back is Flowers, looking up, feeling for the wall, and jumping to make the catch in front of the chain link to put away Gazzo. A 1-2-3 inning for King. He's through 6, working well, heading to the bottom of the inning. The Gulls trying to take their first lead of the night on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 6th on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Jonathan Bermudez back out for the Pilgrims. Ran into his first bit of trouble in inning number 5. After getting outs 1 and 2 on the first 2 pitches he threw. Gives up a single to Meisner, a home run to Aldretti. Brings the game to level. They give up a double after that to Doshbach that just barely stayed in the ballpark. Hit Duvall and was able to finally get out of the inning on a Tyler Green flyout. But now the Gulls up with their first chance to take the lead. They've got Durr, Steele, and O'Regan. A combined 0 for 6 on the night. It's been a part of the order that Bermudez has had no problem with, but nobody consistently has gotten to him. Trying to buckle down here in the 6th, give the Pilgrims another inning of work. First pitch here is a breaking ball, just missing to Durr.
It's interesting, there goes to that changeup, and we've seen a lot of first pitch fastballs from Bermudez. That's what he seems like he's been feeling comfortable with throughout the night, and it's really helped him get ahead in the count.
This one misses low, it's 2-0. For Bermudez, what you can't do here is start falling behind hitters, letting them get on. Bats starting to feel it for Newport, and free base paths can be a serious problem for the lefty out of Puerto Rico. 2-0 pitch, check swing, that's in there on the breaking ball. First strike against Durr. Second baseman is out of FSU. Durr has been strong on the season, but comes in just hitting 161. Takes strike 2 there. And it's 2-2.
Yeah, close pitch there on the inside corner. Bermudez went to the curveball away, then goes fastball inside and gets the call there.
Break-even pitch, swung on, fouled off, and just over the glove of Martirano. Couldn't reel it in to get Bermudez the K. We'll do it again. Bottom of the 6th here, nobody out. 2-2 ball game between the Pilgrims and the Gulls. Pilgrims lead the season series 2-1. First game the Gulls were able to take away and a come from behind victory the last meeting between these two teams. 5-4 victory here at Cardines. This one trails in to bring the count to full, just missing the elbow of Durr. Five for 33 now on the season. Payoff pitch, breaking ball misses. Bermudez spins in frustration on the mound there, just seemed to lose the grip a little bit on that one.
And that was the 70th pitch from Bermudez, and I'll tell you what, I mean, he's thrown a lot of strikes here tonight, and for the southpaw, that is the second walk that he has issued to Newport hitters here tonight. The last one came back in the 3rd with no one out to J.C. Flowers, but the Gulls once again getting the leadoff man on base. Nick Durr with plus speed over there at first. We'll see how Newport wants to play it offensively.
They've done it now in 4 of 6 innings. With the way King is going, may just be playing for the run here. Bermudez is first, swung on and missed. Steele not going to play any small ball. Comes up empty, and it's 0-1. Pitch count lower than I think you'd expect out of Bermudez for the trouble he ran into in the 5th and how many base runners he's had against him all evening.
And think about it, 2 walks, 2 errors, a hit by pitch. It's 5 batters and still has that pitch count pretty low like you mentioned.
And of course that hit by a pitch not early in the count either. It came on a 3-2 pitch, as good as a walk. You know, he's worked some long counts, but it's also seemed like the outs he has made have been fairly early in the counts.
The thing you have to credit Newport here tonight, putting the ball in play. Only 3 strikeouts through 5 innings pitched for Bermuda. So that's what you want. Less than a strikeout an inning for the Skulls team.
Looking to lay down a bunt here is Steele. This one, though, is rolling foul. Great job by Bermudez to give it a look, let it wait. Wyatt behind him to collect it when it crosses that chalk, and it'll just be 0-2.
But you like that there from Steele, and that was not a sacrifice bunt. That is called bunting for a hit. It's a great approach from Steele, going that 3rd base side, but you could tell it definitely rolled foul there. about that 45-foot mark on that third base line. It's a nice try by the shortstop, Steele.
Steele dig back in now. He's count 0-2 against him, 0-for-2, fly out and strike out on the day for the Demon Deacon. You mentioned just 3 strikeouts on the day for Gulls. Putting things in play against the NECBL South Division leaders' top pitcher, but here a 4th strikeout as Bermudez paints the black. Steele watches it run by him for out number 1 here in the 6th.
It's a great pitch there from Bermudez, and that was in the same spot where Steele struck out there in the 4th. Another outside fastball. Big spot here, though, for Liam O'Regan. We'll also try and check and see if we can get a look at the bullpen, see if anyone else is warming up, because I'm curious to see how much longer Bermudez is going to go.
He's got a bit of a pitch count to play with, especially if he could get O'Regan to roll over here. The Elon right fielder is 0-for-2 on the day, reaching once on an error and flying out in his next at bat.
Yeah, there you can see some double-barreled action.
Appears to be C.J. Dandino in the pen for the Pilgrims.
And Zach Lutner from Newport is what it looks like as well.
Just kind of content to watch and see how Bermudez does here. Breaking ball misses away. 1-0 on O'Regan. Former Pilgrim turned Gull here in his 2nd season in the NECBL. Bermudez sets, looks over to Durr at first. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed.
Big swing there from O'Regan, a very, very good fastball hitter. A lot of power there from the right side with those 5 home runs, ties the team lead.
The power that keeps him in the lineup, hitting just a .173. 0-for-8 against the Pilgrims this season, but he has scored twice. He's walked 4 times. Good eye at the plate for the righty. 1-1 pitch, runs up and away, and Martirano has to leap out of the crouch to corral it. Does so and holds Durr at first.
Power to all fields for O'Regan as well. We've seen him hit the ball deep to center field. Seen some over the right center field fence, the left center field as well. It's a guy that you definitely like having in your lineup, and when you put him down in the order, you allow him to see some more fastballs generally.
Ahead in the count here, runner takes off, and this one bounces in, and Martirano can't corral it. Kicks off the heel of his glove, and that will allow Durr to get in cleanly to second. It's a stolen base for Durr and the Gulls that puts a man in scoring position with just 1 away.
And a 3-1 hitters count for O'Regan as well. This is the exact spot that you want. I would be surprised if Bermudez didn't throw a fastball here, but then keep in mind you have an open base. You have J.C. Flowers up next. A ground ball for a double play could get you out of the inning. You have to think Bermudez is going to be careful here on 3-1 as well.
Looks back to Durr, who now stands on second. Comes, this one swung on and fouled. Down towards the bullpen, kicking around there down the left field line.
It went to the fastball there, went to the inside third of the plate. O'Regan got around on it, a little head on that offering, but that's a good approach there on an inside pitch.
Bermudez trying to battle back here. He's brought the count to full. Looking to win the battle here against O'Regan. Sets, looks to second. Durr takes an extra step. Bermudez deals. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back Ks for the lefty. And there are 2 away in the 6th.
It's a great pitch there by Bermudez. A letter high outside fastball. Kind of hard to see if that would have been called a strike or not, but Bermudez did the job there. 2nd strikeout in a row here for the Southpaw, and for Bermudez here tonight, it's strikeout number 5, so almost averaging a strikeout an inning.
He's got J.C. Flowers now. Center fielder walked in his first at bat, grounded out on the first pitch he saw in the 5th. Bermudez sets and delivers as faking the go was Durr. Broke towards third and held up about a third of the way there. Breaking ball bounces in, and Martirano appears to be a bit worse for wear.
Yeah, you could tell it kind of took a tough short hop on him that kicked up, maybe near that thigh area, hard to tell. Nonetheless, once again, Bermuda's falling behind. And he's, like you talked about as well, Quinn, he's kind of danced around trouble a little bit. He's done a great job keeping his team in this ball game as well.
It hasn't been easy for him. Labored through a couple of innings here. Fires the 1-0 off the outer edge of the plate, 2-0.
With Cameron Meisner awaiting on deck, a left-handed hitter, statistically you stick to that lefty-lefty matchup. But Bermudez, with that pitch count continuing to rise here, it's at 86 through 5 2/3. With the way that Meisner's been swinging the bat, you have to wonder, is this maybe the end of the leash for Bermudez?
His longest start of the season went up over 100 pitches in his last appearance at Danbury. Wouldn't expect to see him for another inning here, but we'll hope he can get through the 6th. He has to hold up in the middle of his windup as J.C. Flowers is granted a late time by the home plate umpire Joe Gravina.
And Plymouth, uncharacteristically here, 2 errors, and an offense that has really found its stride. Just 4 hits for the Pilgrims through 6 offensive tries, through 6 innings. So credit Newport pitching and the Gulls defense.
2-0 pitch from Bermudez, swung on, fouled off into the protective netting. Bermudez gets one back on Flowers. And you could certainly say it a case of just kind of using up all your hits last night in an 11-0 rout of Upper Valley, but really I think it would be unfair not to credit it to the job that King has done on the mound for the Gulls. He has been fantastic, as advertised is the TCU product, and he's really held the Pilgrims in check for most of the evening. 2-1 now from Bermudez, swung on, lifted, foul out of play by Flowers, and it'll even up the count.
Well, to put it in perspective for you, since Sal Gazzo's leadoff double in the 4th, Plymouth has been retired 9 in a row. The Pilgrims have not recorded a hit since the top of the 4th inning. And, now they're going to be, trying to get the offense going in the top half of the 7th. King has done a great job. He's really settled down.
Absolutely has. And they're not in a bad position. Obviously not playing from behind. Hoping not to be, though Flowers could change that here with 2 away. Now the 2-2 upstairs, 3-2 from Bermudez. But really, yeah, you've said it. I mean, they got to find a way to even just drive up the pitch count of King, try to see a fresh arm from the Gulls.
Try and get into that Newport bullpen. And talked about Zach Lutner warming up, the Villanova right-hander. Interested to see when he may enter this ball game as well, and how much of King Newport will go with.
Payoff pitch from Bermudez. Swung on and missed. After giving up the walk to lead off the 6th to Durr, it's back-to-back-to-back strikeouts for Bermudez. Up to 6 on the day. And he is through 6 innings, as are we. 6 full done from Cardines. It is a 2-2 ball game. The Pilgrims and the Gulls locked in another tight one on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Back for the start of the 7th inning. 2-2 ball game between the Pilgrims and the Gulls. This has been Quinn Kelly, the voice of the Pilgrims, taking you through the middle innings. I'm going to turn it back now to the Gulls. To the voice of the Gulls, Darren Zaslow.
Thanks so much, Quinn. New pitcher on the mound for the Newport Gulls. It will be the right-hander Zach Lutner out of Villanova. This year, Lutner, a 5.87 ERA. He is 1-0. This is his 10th appearance, all out of the Newport bullpen. He has thrown 15.1 innings, giving up 23 hits, 10 earned runs, 6 walks, 12 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .338 against Lutner. Your final line for Charles King, the right-handed starting pitcher for Newport out of TCU. Through 6 innings, gave up just 1 earned run, 2 total runs, though, on 4 hits. Struck out 7, walked 1. He faced 23 batters. He cannot win. He cannot lose. He is in line for the no decision. We'll see what Plymouth can do with hitters 6, 7, and 8, Pat McCall, Pat Dorian, And Connor Brumfield has the first pitch from Lutner, misses outside for ball 1. We are in the top half of the 7th. No outs, the base is empty. Newport and Plymouth are all tied up at 2. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's in there on the inside corner for strike 1. At the knees, 1-1. Lutner holds the black glove, letter high. Shakes off Duvall, now they agree. Next pitch, misses in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. The third baseman, Aldretti, plays just about on the infield grass. When you look at the hits column, Quinn, Newport out hitting Plymouth 6-4. The Pilgrims have been retired 9 in a row since Sal Gazzo's leadoff double in the 4th.
Yeah, and really the first 6 of those 9 were weakly hit balls, if not strikeouts. Last inning finally kind of got the bats going a little bit. 2 well-hit balls from Cheek and Gazzo, but nothing doing. Both out to J.C. Flowers in center. Looking to see now if they can't turn around, just find a grassy patch out here.
Next offering from Lutner. Fastball taken up and inside there by Pat McCall, the designated hitter out of Harvard. And the count 3-1. McCall here tonight, 1 for 2, a single, a strikeout, and a run scored. Bats from the left side. Next pitch, big swing and a miss. Count pushes full 3-2.
Yeah, swinging there at a pitch that may very well have been ball 4 for him. One comes in low, and he just kind of golf swings over the top of it.
Digging back in is McCall from the left side. Swings the tan-barreled bat, the black handle, slightly open stance, payoff pitch, skied in the air, foul ground, third base side, moving over to his right is Aldretti as he leans up against the sidewall and sees it out of play. The count still full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
First look of the season for the Pilgrims here at the righty Lutner. There's so many of these guys. You know, we saw the Pilgrims here in just game number 4 against the Gulls. Haven't seen a lot of the new additions after playing the first 2 games very early on in the season.
Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball misses up and away for ball 4. It's a leadoff walk to Pat McCall. First base runner since the 4th inning for Plymouth. And that will bring up the second baseman, Pat Dorian, out of Lynn University. He is 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out. Newport pitching coach Kevin Winterroad will talk with Lutner on the mound along with Ty Duvall and the rest of the Gulls infield. And Zach Lutner, 6'1", 180 pounds, played for a Villanova team that struggled this year. 14-33 overall for the Wildcats. 5-13 in the Big East. He's a rising junior. At Villanova this year, Lutner went 0-2. He made 18 appearances, no starts. Had an 8.74 ERA and 22.2 innings pitched. He struck out 12, walked 12, gave up 28 earned runs, and had a save. 2016, he had a very good year. 19 appearances, 4 starts. Through 37 innings, had a 4.38 ERA and 16 strikeouts. Gave up just 18 earned runs and had a save as well. So Lutner has certainly logged a lot of innings at Villanova. Enters here in a big spot for Newport. Pat Dorian will bat from the left side, wears the high navy blue socks. Has his back foot on the back line in the left-handed batter's box. That is completely worn away. First pitch, this one drilled. Deep left center field. Back on it to his right goes Flowers, reaches up and tracks it down in the alley about 5 feet in front of the left center field fence. Great play by J.C. Flowers. Quinn, he made that one look easy.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, that's what you got with that kind of speed out there in center. That's a ball that's trailing away from him, and he ends up catching it really, you know, kind of in line with where the shortstop is playing there, and he just gets on his hop and gets after it. Great break on it is really what allows him to make that look so easy.
Great read. Great first 2 steps there by J.C. Flowers. Here's Connor Brumfield, the left fielder out of Missouri. 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out. He will bat from the left side. Off of first is McCall. He walked. First pitch in there on the outside corner for strike 1 by Zach Lutner. We are in the top half of the 7th. 1 away, a runner on first for Plymouth. And Pat McCall, the designated hitter out of Harvard, walked to begin the frame. Plymouth and Newport all tied up at 2. 0-1. Sharp ground ball gets through the right side of the infield into right field, a base hit. Going station to station is McCall as O'Regan throws the baseball back into the infield. Connor Brumfield now 2 for 3. A one-out single puts runners on first and second for Brandon Martirano. The number 9 hitting catcher out of North Carolina is 0 for 2. Reached on an error and lined out to second base in the 5th.
Back-to-back 2-hit nights for Connor Brumfield, who's, again, another one of those Pilgrims that's kind of coming on here as the season wears on. And puts the Pilgrims in a good position here, but you know, if you're Luttner, you just got to think a ball hit on the ground in the infield could get me right out of this inning.
First pitch to Martirano, a high curveball gets away from Duvall. To second base goes Brumfield. To third goes McCall. And Plymouth is in business. We'll see how they want to roll it. It's going to be a wild pitch.
Yeah, that one just completely came out of the hand of Luttner there. He lost it, you know, right. He hadn't really finished off his motion at all. Didn't really even seem to reach the peak when he lost that one. And the breaking ball just sails way over the glove of Duvall. And now the Pilgrims in business, infield in for the Gulls.
Luttner works out of the stretch. Sets the black glove at the belt. The pitch. Fastball taken down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Again, curious to see if there's any action brewing for Newport here in the bullpen, and also for Plymouth. We'll see how much Bermudez has left in him as well. And there you can see 2 Gulls warming up. Looks like Jonathan Heasley and Matt Murphy. Next pitch, foul tipped off of Duvall, 2-1.
You see, you know that you're getting the fastball there from Martirano on that 2-0 count. At least you think so from Luttner on a, you know, with a pitcher who's kind of struggling to find the zone a little bit here at times in his first inning of work, and you go right after it, but just couldn't come up on it. And that's a really good spot from Luttner, low and inside, and Martirano having a tough time getting anything done.
We'll see what Luttner wants to go with here for the 2-1 pitch. It's on the way. Foul tipped straight back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You could make the argument this is probably the biggest pitch up until this point in the game.
I'd say so, and for Luttner, it's one where you feel like if you can just get Martirano here, you turn it over to McNeil, a guy who struggled on the night, 0 for 3 with a pair of Ks, and you could be in a great spot to get out of the inning.
Luttner has thrown 14 pitches through a third of an inning, 8 of which have been for strikes. The 2-2. Curveball, skied in the air. Foul ground, first base side. Dashbach is under it, reaches up. He can't make the play.
Just an awful lot of movement on that ball. That's one that Dashbach you really feel like needs to have. But a tough play, kind of a curling pop fly that's working away from him towards the dugouts and just didn't get the best read on it.
It's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Brandon Martirano. 1 out. Off of second is Brumfield. He singled. Off of third is McCall. He walked. The 2-2. Fastball, sharp ground ball up the middle into center field, a base hit. McCall will score. They're going to wave home Brumfield. Here comes Flowers, throw to the plate. It pulls Duvall up the third base line. Brumfield will score into second base on the throw with a 2 RBI. 1 out single is Brandon Martirano to put Plymouth ahead 4-2 with 1 out in the top half of the 7th.
Well, that's a great job by Martirano of saying, you shouldn't have done that. You gave me a second opportunity. I'm going to make you pay for it. Goes right back up the middle, gets the Pilgrims back the lead. And Martirano, I mean, you look at a guy who has just 6 hits on the season coming into tonight, picks up his 7th right there, but in just 7 hits, he's got 11 RBIs. He's a guy that just knows how to hit situationally and seems to get the job done when he's got men in scoring position.
Looks like that will be it for Zach Luttner. A new pitcher will enter on the mound here for Newport in the top half of the 7th with 1 away and a runner on second. It is 4-2 Plymouth. Don't go anywhere. More baseball up next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Well, here we go. Still top half of the 7th inning here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island on Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. New pitcher for the Gulls. It's the right-hander out of Oklahoma State, Jonathan Heasley. This year, Heasley, a 5.00 ERA. He is 0-1. This is his 7th appearance all out of the Newport bullpen. He has thrown 9 innings, giving up 5 earned runs on 9 hits. He has walked 6, has struck out 10. Opponents are hitting .250 against him. Tough break there for Zach Lutner, who throws just a third of an inning. Gives up 2 runs on 2 hits. Walked 1, did not strike anybody out. He faced 4 batters, but was certainly impacted there off the pop fly and foul ground that Andrew Dashbach could not hang on to. A tough play, but would have helped Newport get another out there in that frame.
Yeah, and again, the biggest thing is that you get that out, and you're still not out of the inning, still in a tight spot with runners on second and third, but then you're facing off against a guy who's 0 for 3, who's had a tough time seeing the ball up at the plate, and who knows if you get out of it there.
And then Newport's infield, if that were the case, would play back. So we'll see what Andrew McNeil can do. The Stetson right fielder, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a flyout. Looks at a fastball wide for ball 1. It is 1-0. Off of second base is Brandon Martirano. He singled. And on that single, Pat McCall and Connor Brumfield scored. Heasley sets the tan glove, letter high, 1-0. Fastball skied in the air, straight away left field. Backing up a few steps as Meisner reaches up and makes the catch, 2 away. It's an F7 if you are keeping score with us at home. Great job by Heasley. Here is Tyler Wyatt, the third baseman out of Grand Canyon. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a ground out, and a walk.
The third baseman, number 5, Tyler Wyatt.
So Wyatt here will step in. Martirano with that 2 RBI go-ahead single here in the 7th. That's been the difference. First pitch, curveball, briefly gets away. Great job by Duvall to smother that pitch. 1-0 on Wyatt. Struck out in the first, walked in the third, grounded out to shortstop to end the 5th. We are in the top half of the 7th. A runner on second and 2 away. 4-2, Plymouth leads over Newport. It's the opening game of a 12-game over 11 consecutive day stretch for the Gulls. The 1-0 from Heasley. Skied foul right side, 1-1. It'll get out of play.
Wyatt here, who had such a great week, or the past week, just 1 for 5 last night in a night where the offense seemed to have the Upper Valley pitching figured out.
1-1. This one hits Wyatt on the front side elbow. A 2-out hit by pitch to Wyatt puts runners on first and second for Chase Cheek. The center fielder out of Duke is 0 for 3.
And for Wyatt, hasn't got it done with the bat tonight, but has found a way to get on twice. Walking a hit by pitch, and a situation for Cheek here where if he can get his first hit of the night, could pad the Pilgrims' lead a little bit.
The top of the lineup here for Plymouth, and McNeil, Wyatt, and Cheek combined during the contest is 0 for 9. McNeil 0 for 4, Wyatt 0 for 2, Cheek 0 for 3. Takes 2 fastballs up and away as Heasley falls behind 2-0. Really puts it into perspective for you because McNeil, Wyatt, and Cheek have all had a lot of success this year. 2-0, big swing and a miss. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Your attendance here at the ballpark on Raytheon. Military Appreciation Night, 2,801. Once again, tonight's attendance, 2,801. Great crowd here at Cardines Field on a gorgeous night for baseball. The 2-1 from Heasley. Fastball misses below the knees. 3-1 on Chase Cheek.
Great night. You do the Military Appreciation Night. Everybody feeling good at the ballpark, and everybody's into it here down in Newport.
3-1 fastball runs upstairs and wide for ball 4. It's a 2-out walk to load the bases. To third goes Martirano. Up to second goes Wyatt. And aboard here with that 2-out walk, Chase Cheek, the center fielder out of Duke, is now aboard for Hernan Sardinas, the first baseman out of Maine. 1 for 3, a double, a run scored, and 2 strikeouts. This is a huge spot for Plymouth to potentially add on some insurance runs to create some space between the Pilgrims and Newport.
Yeah, if you're Heasley, not the guy you want to see step into the box with the bases loaded. He's had a tough last couple of bats, pair of strikeouts, but he's a guy that's shown throughout the year he can flash the power at any time.
For Plymouth, already in the frame, 2 runs scored on 2 hits, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch. First pitch to Sardinas. Misses downstairs for ball 1.
That's one when you're Heasley, you got to have that pitch when you're struggling.
1 out. Chopper to second should be playable for Durr. Gloves it on the long hop. He will throw out Sardinas, and the inning is over. But for Plymouth, the damage has been done. For the Pilgrims, 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave 3 aboard. The base is loaded with no Newport errors. Let's stretch and come back for the bottom half of inning number 7 with your score, Plymouth 4, Newport 2, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. New pitcher on the mound for the Plymouth Pilgrims as we go to the bottom half of inning number 7. They will go to the right-hander out of the University of Connecticut. It is C.J. Dandino, 6 foot, 200 pounds. And to tell you more about him, here is the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Quinn Kelly.
Thank you very much. C.J. Dandino, 0-1 on the season. He's appeared in 7 games, starting 3. Got a 7.97 ERA that is inflated by those starts, but he's been excellent since moving to the bullpen. Just 2 earned runs over 4 innings, and a very, very strong performance in Winnipesaukee in his last appearance. He appeared in both games of the doubleheader, coming on to work out of the bullpen in the second, and the Pilgrims were really starving for bullpen arms. Came in with the bases loaded and nobody out in a 1-run ball game, and was able to get 3 unproductive outs, the latter 2 coming on strikeouts in what was his best performance to date. Looking to carry that in here to Newport.
Here's Cameron Meisner, bats from the left side. Drills this one deep right center field, backtracking his cheek to the fence, looks up. It's a Gulls goner off the bat of Cameron Meisner. His team leading 6th home run of the season. This one a solo shot. Makes it a 4-3 Plymouth lead with no outs in the bottom half of the 7th. Newport back in it.
Yeah, right back in it, just teeing off on that first pitch from Dandino, and that is the one thing that Dandino struggles with. He'll give up some hits, and he'll give up some big hits too. A lot of extra base hits against him on the season. Of his 21, up over 10 of them are for extra bases. Mostly a doubles guy, but that one just absolutely smacked by Meisner to bring it within a run.
Speaking of home runs, how about Carter Aldretti here tonight? 2 for 3. A single and a 2-run home run over the right field fence. Aldretti looks at a curveball for strike 1. We'll also get you the final line on James Bermudez, the starter for Plymouth out of St. Leo College. In the frame, a 1. Fastball, chopper, left side to his left goes Wyatt, gloves it, throw to first. Is in time as Carter Aldretti is retired. 5-3. Final line on Bermudez. 6 innings pitched. He has given up 2 earned runs on 6 hits, struck out 6, and walked 3. He faced 27 batters. Dandino on to relieve him has already allowed a run in the frame off the Cameron Meisner solo home run over the right center field fence. Here is Andrew Dashbach. He's been great as well here tonight. 2 for 3, a single, a double. Grounded out into a 6-4-3 double play. Bottom 7, 1 away, the base is empty, 4-3, Plymouth leads. Dandino works out of the stretch, first pitch. Breaking ball misses downstairs, 1-0 on Dashbach.
Good pitch to Dandino. We've seen him now start off back-to-back batters with that breaking ball after firing a first pitch fastball to Meisner that was taken out of the park.
1-0 on Dashbach, who bats from the right side. The pitch from Dandino. Curveball taken. Letter high on the inner edge. It is 1-1. Andrew Dashbach out of Stanford. Bats here in the frame, 6'3", 220 pounds. A 40th round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Rays in a 2016 MLB draft, 1-1. Drilled in the air, deep right center field again. Back on it to his left goes Cheek, reaches up, it's off the fence. Around first, digging for second is Dashbach. He slides in safely ahead of the throw from McNeil. It's a one-out double for Andrew Dashbach. Newport in business for Ty Duvall. Dashbach 3 for 4 here tonight as well.
He's having a fantastic day. Now his second double in as many at-bats. And that one kind of hit out to a tough part of the ballpark, right at that corner out there in right center field. And Cheek might have been able to get to it if not for being cut off there. And you see it fall down next to that light pole here.
Ty Duvall 1 for 2 here tonight. Bats from the left side. Pitch on the way from Dandino. Misses up and away for ball 1. Ty Duvall is 5'10", 195 pounds. Hit .348 for Vanderbilt this year in 16 games played. He made 4 starts. The pitch from Dandino is on the way. Curveball, called strike on the inside corner, 1-1.
That's really been the only thing he's able to get by Gulls hitters so far through his first 3 batters. They're all over his fastball. 2 bad misses for him.
Dandino sets the tan glove, letter high, looks at Dashbach on second, the 1-1. Changeup misses downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Thus far for Dandino, he has thrown a lot of strikes, has thrown 9 pitches through just a third of an inning. 6 of those have been over the plate for strikes. Off of second is Dashbach, he doubled, 2-1. Curveball breaks over the inner third, 2-2. See what Dandino wants to go to here. Works exclusively out of the stretch. Tucks the tan glove shoulder high, gets the sign from Martirano. Works out of the stretch from the first base side of the rubber. The 2-2. Curveball swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Martirano looks back, Dashbach a low throw to first. Caught by Sardinas, he steps on the bag. 2 down here in the frame, first strikeout for the right-hander out of UConn in Dandino. Brings up the designated hitter, Tyler Green, who's 0 for 2. A strikeout, a flyout, and a walk for the Vanderbilt designated hitter.
You saw only 1 fastball in that at-bat to Duvall, and that's well and good for Dandino that he gotten out on the breaking ball, but if you're unable to locate the fastball and you become over-reliant on the breaking ball, the Gulls are going to just start sitting on it, and eventually it's going to cause problems for you.
Green will bat from the right side. The tying run on second is Andrew Dashbach. First pitch, curveball taken downstairs, 1-0 on Tyler Green. He was a 3-sport athlete in baseball, hockey, and football at Williamsville North High School. Was also named to the 2015 Spring SEC Academic Honor Roll. Green swings the all-black bat, the 1-0. Check swing fastball called strike outside corner, 1-1.
Good pitch by Dandino, but again, kind of leaving the fastball up. I think Green sitting breaking ball there from Dandino, a little bit fooled.
Dandino out of the stretch. Looks at Dashbach on second, the 1-1. Curveball skipped in the dirt. Dashbach thought about trying to advance to third. Now quickly retreats back to second. It's a great block from Martirano, and the count moves to 2-1.
It really is a solid breaking ball. The curve from Dandino does have a lot of movement on it, fairly tight. But if he misses with one, you have to imagine the Gulls are going to be ready for it.
It's a righty-righty matchup. Dandino against Green, UConn versus Vanderbilt. 2-1. Curveball waved at and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tyler Green in 2016 with the Commodores, played in 7 games, batted .250. Was 2 for 8 with a double and a home run. 4 RBI, 2 runs scored, an on-base percentage of .250. That's from the right side here against Dandino in a big spot. Bottom 7, 2 away, a runner on second, 4-3 Plymouth. The pitch, curveball just misses off the outside corner.
Yeah.
3 balls and 2 strikes.
That one a little bit out from Dandino, but that's a really good spot, and credit to Green for holding up on that one.
What will Dandino decide to go with here? Already 1 run in the frame for Newport off the Cameron Meisner solo home run over the right center field fence. Dandino out of the stretch. Deals the payoff pitch. It's on the way. Curveball gets away from Martirano. It's a walk to Green. Advancing to third base is Dashbach. What a big spot here for Nick Durr. Runners on the corners for the Florida State second baseman. who is 0 for 2 with a ground out, a strikeout, and a walk. Durr at Florida State this year made 32 starts. He played in 47 games. He hit 224, had 26 hits and 116 at-bats. Also homered and had 17 RBI. Was a 33rd round pick to the Cincinnati Reds in last year's MLB draft. Durr skies this one foul, right side and out of play. It is 0-1 on the number 6 hitting second baseman, Nick Durr out of Florida State. Was a 2016 Rawlings perfect game All-American honorable mention. And was also ranked the number 6 shortstop by perfect game. A 1 curveball taken down and away. And the count 1-1. It's another great block by Martirano.
Yeah, Dandino working him hard. And he's kind of lost the feel a little bit on the breaking ball. That's now 3 that he's buried well outside the zone.
We'll see what Nick Durr can do. Off of first is Green, a big lead over there. Next pitch, fastball in there for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count on Nick Durr. 4-3 Plymouth. Bottom 7, 2 away. Runners on the corners for the Gulls. Dandino out of the stretch. A big lead over there by Green, about 11 feet. Green takes off, the pitch home. Curveball misses in the dirt. No throw from Martirano. Runners on second and third here for Durr.
Yeah, you feel like for Green, you know that breaking ball is probably coming in the 2-strike count. That's Dandino's put-away pitch. Tries to get an early jump. Didn't need it as he stumbled halfway through, almost got hung up, but then just goes right in through.
Pitch curveball, misses outside, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Durr, we talked about it, played a lot at Florida State for an excellent team this season. 47 games played for Florida State. He made 32 starts. Also scored 31 runs, had a 401 on-base percentage. Here's the payoff pitch. Curveball check swing, did he go? No, he did not. Ball 4. How about that? The bases are loaded after 2 consecutive walks from Dandino. A 2-out walk here to Nick Durr sets the scene for Bruce Steele. And at least up until this point, what is the biggest at bat in this ball game? Bruce Steele 0 for 3. A flyout and 2 strikeouts for the Wake Forest shortstop. 6'2", 185 pounds. Was the everyday starting shortstop at Wake Forest. Made 46 starts this season, hit 262. 12 home runs and 36 RBI. First pitch to Steele, fastball in there on the outside corner, 0-1.
And you like to see Dandino going to that fastball. 3 straight breaking balls and 2-strike count to Durr, and he can't get him. And it's a tough pitch. I mean, if you can just be disciplined as a Gulls hitter, it's not one that he's trying to throw in the zone for a strike, so he's kind of handcuffed himself a little bit.
A 1 curveball taken up and away, 1 ball and 1 strike on Bruce Steele. Had a 374 on base percentage with Wake Forest this past spring. Also scored 33 runs. Bats from the right side here against Dandino. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball skied in the air. Foul ground right side. Oncoming is Sardinas. And moving out is Martirano, and neither can make the play. The ball bounces in between them and bounces over this side fencing here over the Newport dugout. The count 1-2 on Bruce Steele. Quinn, those pop-ups and foul ground down that first base line for both teams have been really tough plays to make.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to get a replay on that one, but it looked to me like Martirano actually overran that, just totally hustling to it, completely overshot it, and kind of cut off Sardinas, who might have had a better look at that ball coming from first, charging hard.
Dandino out of the stretch. The bases loaded, 2 away for Newport, 4-3 Plymouth. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight is Bruce Steele. 2nd strikeout for Dandino, and the inning is over. For Newport, the Gulls record 1 run on 2 hits, leave the bases loaded, 3 aboard. With no Plymouth errors, we go to the top half of the 8th with your score. Plymouth 4, Newport 3. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's been an excellent game thus far here in the NECBL's Southern Division between Plymouth and Newport. 4-3, the Pilgrims lead this one over the Gulls here on Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. And as we go to the top half of the 8th, a new pitcher on the mound for the Gulls. It's the right-hander out of East Carolina in Sam Lanier. He's been excellent this year. 2.77 ERA, 0-1 record. This is his 10th appearance. He has thrown 13 innings, giving up just 4 earned runs on 10 hits. He has struck out 14. Opposing hitters are hitting .208 against him. Also now into the ball game in right field is J.J. Blade out of Vanderbilt, in for Liam O'Regan, who finishes his night 0-3. Once again, J.J. Blade now into the ball game at right field for Liam O'Regan. Plymouth will try and extend this one-run lead here against Lanier with hitters 5, 6, and 7, Sal Gazzo, Pat McCall, Pat Dorian, as Gazzo lines this one foul down the third base line. It is 0-1. We will also get you the final line here on Newport's Jonathan Heasley, who threw 2/3 of an inning, giving up no runs, walked one, did not strike anyone out, and he faced 4 batters. As Gazzo weakly fouls this one straight back, 0-2. We are in the top half of the 8th. Bases empty, no one out, 4-3. Plymouth leads over Newport. Gazzo 1-for-3 with a double, a ground out, and the fly out. He bats from the left side, the high navy blue socks. Swings and all, tan bat. Lanier winds and fires. Curveball swing and a miss, and a pitch in the dirt, blocked well by Duval. Throws down the first, in time, 1 away. First strikeout for Lanier. It's a great pitch.
It's an absolutely great pitch, and he gets a guy who's been a tough hitter for Gazzo, extended his hit streak to 8 today earlier in the ball game with his double. He has struggled. Other than that, Pilgrims have seen Lanier once on the season. He threw 2 1/3 against him, and up 2 hits and a walk, and 3 runs came in that were credited to him, but none of them earned, of course.
Lanier out of East Carolina threw 38.1 innings pitched this year for the Pirates. As Pat McCall steps in, looks at a curveball for strike 1. Made 27 appearances, tied for the second most appearances on the team. Last year, he made 34 appearances in the American Athletic Conference. That was the AAC league lead. He was excellent with a 4.15 ERA. As this one is skied foul. Left side out of play, 0-2 on McCall, the designated hitter out of Harvard. 1-for-2 here tonight, a single, a strikeout, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Bats in the number 6 spot from the left side. Lanier holds the black glove in front of his face. He winds and fires the 0-2. Curveball, strike 3 called outside corner. Second strikeout for Lanier, 2 away for Pat Dorian, the second baseman out of Lynn University. 0-for-3, 2 flyouts and a ground out.
And for Dorian, he's hit a couple balls hard, but just hasn't been able to find a gap, and that's really been the story for him. He's a guy who came in with a lot of hype around him for the Pilgrims and hasn't produced to his own offensive standards, but he really does seem to just have a lot of bad luck type of balls.
Lanier winds and deals to Dorian. Fastball taken up and away, it's 1-0. Lanier also, during the 2013-2014 season, he was rated the number 27 right-handed pitcher by Perfect Game, as the next offering from Lanier is fouled off there by Dorian. It's 1-1. Dorian flew out to left in the second, struck out in the fourth, and flew out to center in the seventh. The 1-1. Fastball, high chopper to second base. Coming into his left is Durr, and he can't make the play. It gets by him. It's going to be an E4 on Nick Durr. And for Newport, here tonight, this is the Gulls' 3rd error of the ballgame.
And that one kind of just a questionable one for Durr. Obviously a tough hop, but you see him kind of pull his head out on it at the last moment. And you're certainly not going to field too many balls off tough hops that you don't have your eyes on.
Certainly. It's a tough hop, kind of an in-between hop that Durr wanted to be aggressive to get on that short hop and just hopped over his glove. Here's Connor Brumfield, the left fielder out of Missouri, 2 for 3. He's been very good at the number 8 spot here tonight. Lanier throws over to first in the dirt. It's a nice backhanded short hop grab there by Dashbach, as diving in safely is Dorian. Brumfield singled in the second, flew out to end the 4th inning to center field. Singled and scored in the 7th. Lanier sets the black glove at the belt. The pitch, curveball taken ankle high, and the count 1-0 on Brumfield. Lanier thus far here tonight, he has thrown 10 pitches, 8 of which have been for strikes. Off of first is Dorian. He reached on an air. Here's the 1-0. Fastball misses inside, 2-0. Sam Lanier on the mound for the Gulls, 6'1", 205 pounds, played for an East Carolina team that went 32-28 this year, 7-17 in the American Athletic Conference. Another throw over to first, back in, standing up is Dorian on a pretty close play. It was an East Carolina team that earned the number 8 seed in the American Athletic Conference tournament that went all the way to the championship, where they were eliminated by Houston. Had an excellent postseason run in the conference tournament. Lanier deals a fastball that runs wide, and he falls behind Brumfield 3-0. So you talk about playing baseball when it matters most. It's a similar state here for Newport, trying to play really well and consistently in the back end of the season to try and get in the postseason. 3-0 from Lanier, fastball, misses downstairs for ball 4. So an error and a walk puts runners on first and second for the Pilgrims, for Brandon Martirano, the catcher out of North Carolina. Tonight, Martirano 1 for 3. A 2 RBI single in the 7th. That's been the real difference in this game. A line out, and he also reached on an error.
Big spot for him again here. See what he can do. Last time helped out with a wild pitch during his at-bat that brought both runners into scoring position, and then, of course, helped out again with that dropped foul ball by Dashbach. And see the way errors can kind of continue the inning here.
First pitch from Lanier, fastball taken down and away. Martirano wears the black ankle guard on his upper calf, just below his kneecap. Swings an all-black bat, the light blue batting gloves. Slightly bent knees, a squared stance for Martirano. Next pitch, big swing and a miss over top, a downstairs fastball, and the count levels at 1-1.
That is a great spot there from Lanier. That's the type of spot you just want to live in if you're a pitcher. Fantastic location, low and away.
Off of first is Brumfield. He walked. Off of second is Dorian. He reached on an air. The 1-1 from Lanier. Swing and a miss. A hard fastball on the outside corner. 1-2 on Martirano. Lanier just 1 pitch away from getting Newport out of this inning. Top 8, 2 away. Runners on first and second. 4-3. Plymouth leads over the Gulls here on Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. Tonight's total attendance, 2,801. A great crowd on a great night for baseball. 77 degrees was the temperature when first pitch was thrown. 13-mile-per-hour winds. Sunny skies. A gorgeous night in the city by the sea. Lanier works out of the stretch, looks at second a couple times. The 1-2, curveball taken wide. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, he's blowing the gas by Martirano a couple times here. Now tries to get him with the soft stuff and just doesn't leave it over the plate to begin with. To try to get it to break away, and Martirano doesn't chase. We'll see what he goes with now here with the even count.
Lanier already with 2 strikeouts in this frame. He had 36 strikeouts and 38.1 innings pitched this year for East Carolina. This one, this is just below the knees. And the count will push full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So here's the situation. Brumfield and Dorian will be off with the pitch. The Newport infield will be forced to throw across the diamond to first on a ground ball. Lanier works out of the stretch, gets the sign from Duval. Both runners take off. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Huge pitch from Sam Lanier. And Plymouth cannot push any runs across. They do it on no hits They leave 2 aboard on 1 Newport Air. The Gulls will try and continue their offensive success when we come back as we go to the bottom half of inning number 8 with your score, Plymouth 4, Newport 3, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. New pitcher on the mound for the Plymouth Pilgrims as we go to the bottom half of inning number 8. They will go to the right-hander out of Quinnipiac University, a rising senior in Mike Davis, 6'5", 210 pounds. To tell you more about him, we'll go back over to the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Quinn Kelly.
Well, Davis, the leader in appearances for this Pilgrims team. He's 0-2 through 12 games. He has picked up 3 saves for the Pilgrims, throwing 15 1/3 innings. He's given up 13 hits and 7 walks, striking out 16 batters. Does have a 5.28 ERA. Pitched a scoreless 4 innings, facing just 12 batters, the minimum, in his last appearance, an 8-7 win against Sanford. Picked up 3 strikeouts there in what was by far his best appearance of the season, holding things as they wore through extras, but trying to build off of that. Again, we saw Dandino come in here off the back of a very strong appearance and struggle against the Gulls. We'll see if if Davis is able to find a little bit more success.
We got you the final line on Dandino. He threw the 7th inning, gave up 1 earned run on 2 hits, struck out 2 and walked 2. He faced 7 batters. Here is J.J. Blade, pinch hitting for Liam O'Regan, entered as a defensive replacement back in the top half of the 8th. O'Regan finishes the night 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a flyout, and he also reached on an error. J.J. Blade hitting 135. He is 5 for 37 with 5 runs scored. Looks at a fastball for strike 1. Blade bats from the left side, of Vanderbilt product. Stands tall with an open stance. Next pitch. Fastball misses off the outer black. 1-1. Mike Davis here on the mound. A Sandy Hook, Connecticut native. Works out of the stretch predominantly. 1-1. Skied in the air. Shallow left field. Moving out to his right is Gazzo. Reaches up and he makes the play. What a play by Gazzo for out number 1.
Yeah, really tough ball to track there and overruns it. Has to kind of trail back. And again, that's one where maybe you'd like to see Brumfield take charge, but Gazzo said from the beginning, I got it, and able to put it away. Bit of a scary moment there for the Pilgrims, but he's fields it well. I mean, really tracked it as best he could.
Another new pinch hitter into the ball game. It's Cade Cabinets pinch hitting for J.C. Flowers, who finishes the ball game at 0 for 2 with a ground out, a strikeout, and a walk. Cabinets out of Oklahoma State looks at a fastball wide for ball 1. Cabinets this season hitting 176. He is 9 for 51 with 8 runs scored and a couple doubles. Out of Oklahoma State, swings an all-orange bat. The 1-0. Fastball waved at and missed for strike 1. It is 1-1 on Cade Cabinets.
Yeah, he's 0 for 8 so far on the season against the Pilgrims. Has scored once in his lone trip on the base path is when he walked. Also struck out 4 times.
1-1 taken downstairs and inside. 2-1. Cameron Meisner awaits on deck. He is 2 for 4 tonight. A single, a solo home run, a fly out, and a ground out for Meisner. Davis out of the stretch. The 2-1. Fastball runs wide, 3-1. He falls behind Cabinets. So an interesting spot here for Davis out of Quinnipiac. We'll see what he goes to against Cabinets. Newport needs a base runner. The 3-1. Fastball fouled off left side. 3-2. Meisner could tie this ball game up with one swing of the bat, or if Cabinets gets on, could give Newport a lead. It's important here for Davis to try and retire Cabinets to face Meisner with no one on base. The payoff pitch on the way. Curveball misses wide for ball 4. Great at bat by Cade Cabinets. He works a 1-out walk in the bottom half of the 8th. And well, here we go. Sets a big scene here for Cameron Meisner. 2 for 4. A single, a solo home run, a fly out, and a ground out. He has also scored 2 runs. Does not get any bigger than this, Quinn.
No, it absolutely does in another situation for the Gulls where you got a power bat up there that can do a lot of damage with one swing of the bat.
Davis deals. Pitch that misses upstairs for ball 1 on Meisner. Hit his 6th home run of the season. That leads the team. Just an inning ago over the right center field fence. The 1-0. Ground ball to shortstop, could be 2. Gazzo bobbles, throws the second for 1. That's all they'll get. Dorian smartly hangs on to the baseball. Meisner reaches on the 6-4 fielder's choice.
Well, that's frustrating there if you're Gazzo. I mean, that's really a tailor-made double play ball, one that you really feel like you gotta have to get yourself out of the inning. And now for Davis, you face Carter Aldretti, another guy with a home run in the ball game with the guy on ahead of him, and all of a sudden he can make this, a ball game in which you trail in.
It's a huge spot here for Aldretti. He has homered in this ball game. He is 2 for 4. Meisner goes, throw to second from Martirano is in time. What a great pick on the short hop by the second baseman Dorian. He tags out Meisner, and the inning is over. For Newport, just 3 hitters come up to the plate for the Gulls. No runs on no hits, none left aboard, no Plymouth errors. We will go to the final frame here as we go to the top half of the 9th. Plymouth leads Newport 4-3 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. To the top half of the 9th inning we go here on Raytheon Military Appreciation Night at Cardines Field in the city by the sea, Newport, Rhode Island, the site for the Southern Division matchup between the Newport Gulls and the Plymouth Pilgrims. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxoud, the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Quinn Kelly, and Gulls field reporter Cam McGuire. We are all here with you. We will send things over to Cam here during the inning to get a look around the NECBL scoreboard. But before we do that, a new pitcher on the mound for Newport. It's the right-hander out of the University of Rhode Island in Matt Murphy. Murphy enters play with a 1.59 ERA, the second lowest on the team. He is 1-2. This is his 10th appearance, all out of the Newport bullpen. He also has 1 save. He has thrown 11.1 innings this year, giving up 2 earned runs on 8 hits. He has walked 4, struck out 11. Opponents are hitting .200 against him. In center field now for Newport, entering for J.C. Flowers is Cade Cabanis, who pinch hit for Flowers with 1 out in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And we will see what Andrew McNeil, Tyler Wyatt, Chase Cheek, the top 3 in the Plymouth lineup, can do for the Pilgrims here, leading Newport 4-3. First pitch from Murphy, fastball, clips the outside black at the knees for strike 1. We will also get you the final line on on Newport's Sam Lanier, who threw a scoreless inning. Struck out 3, walked 1, he faced 5 batters. This one absolutely crushed. Deep right field off the bat of McNeil. Back on it goes Blade, looks up, and that one's gone. It's a solo home run off the bat of Andrew McNeil. And for McNeil, that is his 4th home run of the season. This one a solo shot, gives Plymouth a 5-3 lead with no outs in the top half of the 9th.
And what a great way there to break out of a slump for McNeil. 0 for his last 8 with a walk mixed in. 3 Ks, though, over that stretch. And comes up huge for the Pilgrims. Gives them just a touch of a cushion with that solo home run. Makes it 5-3. That's a big swing there from McNeil.
5-3 Plymouth, top 9. No outs, the base is empty. We'll quickly send things over to Cam McGuire, Gulls field reporter, for a look around the NECBL scoreboard.
Doubleheader over in Danbury. Danbury beat New Bedford 6-1 in the first matchup there. New Bedford holds a lead over Danbury 4-2 in the top of the 8th. Over in Keene in the top of the 9th, they are tied with Vermont at 3 apiece. In the top of the 9th, Valley Blue Sox lead Winnipesaukee a score of 5-1. Ocean State prevails over Mystic of a score 4-2, and Sanford prevails over Upper Valley 13-2.
Thanks so much, Cam. It's a 1-2 count here on Tyler Wyatt, the third baseman out of Grand Canyon.
really, I think, look around those league's best case results so far for both of these teams. You know, you want Danbury and New Bedford to split those games, so neither of them really works their way into a spot for that third position. And again, the Ocean State kind of a little bit out ahead. You don't mind seeing them win because Mystic, for the Pilgrims, drops a game and moves a little bit further, gives you some breathing room for the Newport, comes back into play.
This one drilled down the left field line, slicing foul. It's a long strike number 2 here on Tyler Wyatt. It's a 2-2 count. Wyatt here tonight is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a ground out. He has also been walked and was hit by a pitch in the 7th. It's 2-2 on Wyatt, who bats in the number 2 spot. Next pitch, grounded weakly foul, third base side. No, you make a great point there, and for Newport, that really is best case scenario. You don't lose any ground on Mystic. You stay 4.5 games back. You enter the same way you came into tonight, 2-2. Change up, swing and a miss. On a pitch in the dirt, Duval blocks it, throws down to first in time, 1 away. First strikeout for Murphy.
And for the Pilgrims, I mean, it's the opposite. You just don't see anybody pick up on your lead. You know, you don't get a foothold for either Danbury or New Bedford. And Mystic, again, kind of just continuing to sputter here after a really good stretch through the middle of the season. They've proven to be a very beatable team of late.
Yeah, Mystic, if that score were to hold, 3-7 in their last 10 games. Here's Chase Cheek, a big swing and a miss at the first pitch there from Murphy, 0-1. Cheek here tonight, 0 for 3, a strikeout, reached on a fielder's choice, has flown out and walked. Next pitch taken downstairs, 1-1. Newport will be back in action tomorrow night as they travel down to South Kingstown across the Pell Bridge to take on the Ocean State Wings. 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed, 1-2. The Gulls will next be back at home here on Friday to host the New Bedford Bay Sox in another key NECBL Southern Division matchup. 1-2 fouled straight back. The count remains 1-2. That will be Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. 500 free Newport Gulls posters will be given out courtesy of Regine Printing. 1-2. Curveball, chop foul, first base side. Just 4 home games after tonight left on the regular season schedule for Newport. 14 total regular season games left as well for the Gulls. So still a lot of time to be made up. 1-2, curveball, strike 3 called inside corner. Great pitch from Matt Murphy, 2 away. 2 strikeouts for the University of Rhode Island right-hander in Murphy. Sets the scene for Hernan Sardinas, who will hit with 2 away. The base is empty. Sardinas here tonight, 1 for 4, a double, a run scored, a couple strikeouts, and a ground out. The main first baseman stands tall from the left side, now steps out. 5-3 Plymouth, top 9, 2 away, base is empty. Murphy and Duval agree on the signal. Here's the pitch home. Skips in the dirt. 1-0 on Sardinas. Had that pitcher's duel type of feel to it, but at the same time kind of didn't with all the base runners. 6 combined errors, 3 for Plymouth, 3 for Newport. Next pitch, change up, swung over top and missed by Sardinas. 1-1. Does that make sense? Kind of had a little, couple different feels to it.
Absolutely. It seemed like it was going to be an outing where a couple guys were going to bulldog their way through, and the offenses just weren't going to be able to find the key hits. But then they do, you know. And
certainly
for the Pilgrims, it's picking up a couple runs here and there. For the Gulls, it's really been not the best situational hitting, but the big fly helping them out. And 3 runs on 2 homers, putting them right in this ball game.
1-2. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. But no, certainly kind of had a different types of vibes to it. 15 combined hits. This one, a sinking liner, grabbed on a hop there by Dashbach, flips to Murphy, covering inside.
Great play.
3-1. That's how the frame ends here in the top half of the ninth. But once again, Plymouth extends this lead to 5-3 on a solo home run from Andrew McNeil. For the Pilgrims, 1 run on 1 hit. They leave no one aboard with no Newport errors. The Gulls will take their swings in the bottom half of the ninth, trailing by 2, 5-3. Plymouth leads right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. This is Raytheon Military Appreciation Night. Here we go to the bottom half of the ninth inning. We go here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Plymouth leads over Newport by a score of 5-3. For the Newport Gulls, hitters 2, 3, and 4 due up. Carter Aldretti, Andrew Dashbach, Ty Duvall, all to face off against the Quinnipiac right-hander on the mound. It's Mike Davis, 6'5", 210 pounds, rising senior for Quinnipiac here in a save situation. Big spot for Davis, and we'll see what he can do against Carter Aldretti. He's been excellent tonight, 2 for 4, a single, a 2-run home run, and a couple groundouts. First pitch fastball in there for strike 1. It's 0-1 on the Arizona State third baseman in Aldretti.
And if you're the Gulls, this is the exact part of the order that you want up right now, trying to fight out of a 2-run deficit.
A 1. Breaking ball misses down and away, 1-1, and find a way to get a runner on. You bring the tying run up to the plate. That could be huge. We'll see what Davis decides to go with. Works out of the stretch, 1-1. This is upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. Entering play here tonight, Davis. Certainly a power pitcher. 16 strikeouts and 15.1 innings pitched. 5.28 ERA entering play. Here's the 2-1. This is upstairs and inside, 3-1 on Aldretti. Newport out hitting Plymouth 8-7, but Plymouth leads where it counts in the runs column, 5-3. Both teams have committed 3 errors here tonight, so this is a game that has featured 8 combined runs, 15 combined hits, and 6 combined errors. This is a Plymouth team, we've talked about it, entered play with the best fielding percentage in the NECBL at .970. They committed just 35 errors.
It's 2 straight trips now down to Newport, though they've committed 3.
3-1 fastball, pardon me, in there, and they count 3 balls and 2 strikes on Aldretti.
This is a big batter for Davis. You really do not want to put the leadoff man aboard with who you've got up here in this inning.
He sets and fires the payoff pitch, misses outside for ball 4. It's a leadoff walk to Aldretti, and the tying run is at the plate in Andrew Dashbach. A great candidate to tie up this ball game. Dashbach here tonight, 3 for 4, a single, 2 doubles. He has also grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. That ended the first inning of work, but what a spot this is. It's Davis against Dashbach, Quinnipiac against Stanford, a righty-righty matchup. So here we go. Davis gets the sign from Martirano. He tucks that black glove about letter high. They agree on the signal. First pitch. This is down and away for ball 1 on Andrew Dashbach. Davis thus far has thrown 19 pitches. Just 7 have been for strikes, 12 for balls. The 1-0. This is upstairs, 2-0. So here we go. 5-3 Plymouth, bottom 9, no outs. Carter Aldretti with the leadoff walk, he's on first. About a 9-foot lead, he's held on by Hernan Sardinas. Here's the 2-0 pitch. This is inside, briefly gets away from Martirano. The count pushes to 3-0.
You got to figure out if you're Davis, you're about to bring the winning run to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th. Got to find a way to throw strikes.
Davis gets that sign once again from his catcher, Martirano. The 3-0. Misses up and in for ball 4. Back-to-back walks to Carter Aldretti, and Andrew Dashbach set the scene for Ty Duvall, who could win this game with 1 swing of the bat. Duvall this year has 3 home runs. Wow. What a turn of events.
And again for Davis, I mean, it's not a bad spot. Just you can get a ground ball, get too quickly, but at the same time feels like just such an ominous situation for you here because you've got a power lefty in there. I mean, you got a guy who's taken guys deep before this season, and really with nobody out and that man on second, you feel like you're going to put yourself in a position to at least be within a run.
Duvall squares around the bunt, gets it down first base side. Sardinas picks it up. He will throw to first, and it does the job. It's a sacrifice bunt. 3-4. To second base goes Dashbach. To third base goes Andretti. A single could tie the game. So here's Tyler Green. He will bat from the right side. And the situation is certainly at a very pivotal point. Looks like Newport will pinch run. Andrew Dashbach with Drew Archiola. Carter Andretti still on third base. And the Gulls want to talk about this. Gulls third base coach, pitching coach, and manager here tonight, Kevin Winterroad, talking with Green and Andretti how they want to go over this. Andrew Dashbach here tonight finishes 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, a single, a walk, and a ground out. He had an excellent night in the number 3 spot.
The batter is DH Tyler Green.
So here we go. Tyler Green up at the plate, and he is 0 for 2. Lines this one foul down the right field line. It's 0-1 on Green. Newport at least needs to find a way to get a run in this at bat.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, even if you get one on just a productive out, when you've got that go-ahead run or the tying run standing on third, then things get tight for you as a pitcher. You feel like you can't go to 2 outs.
The 0-1 from Davis. Misses in the dirt. 1-1 on Tyler Green. Green struck out in the second, walked in the fourth, flew out in the fifth, walked in the seventh. Davis thus far has given up 3 walks already. He sets and fires. Fastball fouled straight back, 1-2. So what do you go to here if you're Davis? That's the question.
There you go. If I'm Davis, I'm trying to go to that breaking ball. He just hasn't been able to keep it up. Saw a little bit from him what we saw the problems for Dandino through a portion of his inning where he's not really making enough of a tease pitch because he's just kind of spiking it a little bit too much towards the back edge of that plate.
Davis out of the stretch. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down goes Green on strikes for out number 2. And here is Nick Durr. He is 0 for 2 with a ground out, a strikeout. He has walked twice in both the 6th and 7th innings. A single to the outfield could tie the ball game. Off of second is Archiolo. He is pinch running for Andrew Dashbach, and off of third is Andretti. 5-3 Plymouth. First pitch to Durr, skied in the air, foul ground first base side, and it will get out of play. 0-1 on Nick Durr is the count. Plymouth with a 5-3 lead. Bottom 9, 2 away, runners on second and third. Drew Archiolo takes the walking lead off of second base. He represents the tying run. Off of third is Andretti. The 0-1 to Durr. Curveball in there for strike 2. Newport down to its final strike. We'll see how Davis wants to go, or what he wants to go with here to Durr. He gets the sign from Martirano and works out of the stretch. The black glove set letter high. Here's the 0-2. Fastball. Wow. This is up and away. It's 1-2 on Durr.
Oh, that is a cold-blooded take right there from Durr. That's belt high right on that that outer edge. And man, I mean, great eye. Great eye.
A very close pitch. Davis is ready, so is Durr. The 1-2. This is down and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carter Andretti led off the frame with a walk. Andrew Dashbach then walked. Both runners advanced 90 feet to second and third on Ty Duvall's sac bunt. Tyler Green struck out, sets the scene here for Durr with 2 away. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball to shortstop, grabbed there by Gazzo, throw to first is in time, and the ball game is over. Your final score, Plymouth 5, Newport 3. The Gulls don't push any runs across in the final frame in the bottom half of the ninth. They strand 2 with no Plymouth errors. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls postgame show is up next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. This is the Newport Gulls post-game show. Newport falls to Plymouth by a final score of 5-3. The Gulls fall to 11-19. Plymouth improves to 20-14 with the victory. The win for Plymouth will go to Jonathan Bermudez, the southpaw out of St. Leo College, will grab the win. The loss goes to Zach Lutner. And credit the save to Mike Davis. Newport will be back in action tomorrow night against Ocean State on the road in South Kingstown, Rhode Island. Plymouth, on the other hand, will take on Mystic tomorrow. And Quinn, all Gulls fans will be rooting for the Pilgrims to win that ball game. And what a game it was here tonight. We'll get you your offensive leaders before we sign off. Cameron Meisner and Carter Aldretti paced Newport's offense. That out-hit Plymouth 8-7 with 2 hits apiece. And for the Plymouth Pilgrims, leading the way, Connor Brumfield, the left fielder out of Missouri, went 2 for 3 with a run scored and a walk. Quinn, your final thoughts on this one?
Well, it's a big win for the Pilgrims just because it moves them to 3-1 on the season against Newport, and now they've clinched at least a piece of every series against the Southern Division opponent except for Ocean State, which was lost a lot earlier in the season. So, you know, they haven't taken care of business against the number 1 seed, but they fared pretty well against everybody else, and they put themselves in a good position to maybe, even if things get tight towards the end, take games on season splits.
Quinn, always a pleasure working with you. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. Plymouth improves to 20-14. Newport falls to 11-19. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls postgame show continues next. Hosted by Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxout and Gulls field reporter Cam McGuire.
Welcome back to the post-game show. Newport falls to Plymouth, the score of 5-3. Kind of a back-and-forth game the whole game. At first, we sort of saw a pitcher's duel. Charles King finished the game with 7 strikeouts for Newport, but Newport ends up falling 5-3. Newport will travel to Ocean State tomorrow to play the Ocean State Waves, the first-place team in the Southern Division. For the Plymouth Pilgrims, they improve their record on 20-14 on the season, and Newport falls to 11-19. Cameron Meisner with the home run for the Newport Gulls, along with number 10 Carter Aldretti. Start off the scoring in the top of the 7th. Plymouth would get on the board. Patrick McCoyle, and then along in the top of the 7th, Brandon Martirano, and that would be a 2-0 advantage for Plymouth, and that would continue until the 5th inning when Carter Aldretti homered to make it 2-2, and then in the 7th, Martirano again making it a score of 4-2, and Meisner then homered, so it's 4-3 score. And then in the top of the 9th, McNeil kind of seals the deal with a home run in the top of the 9th to make that 5-3, and Newport falls and cannot rally in the bottom of the 9th inning. Plymouth will improve their record against Newport on the season. They've played 4 games thus far this season. Plymouth has the edge over them, 3-1 against Newport. It seems like Plymouth has Newport's number. Newport will now still be at the bottom of the division at 11-19, and Plymouth will stay in second at 20-14.
Thanks so much, guys. Welcome back to the post-game show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Newport falls to Plymouth here tonight by a final score of 5-3. Darren Zazzo here with Newport Gulls player of the game, Carter Aldretti, the third baseman out of Arizona State. Went 2 for 4 here tonight, 2 RBI. Hit his second home run of the season, a 2-run shot over the right field fence. Carter, can you take me through that at bat and what you saw?
Well, it was 2-0, and I didn't want to get cheated. he hasn't been throwing in all night, so I was looking away, and I got a pitch to hit, and I didn't miss it.
Of course, this is your second home run of the season. Both have gone over the right field fence. How you feeling going the other way to right field?
Well, our field's smaller to right, so I'm working smarter, not harder. So I'm just going to stick with that, and hopefully we can pull out a few more wins.
Newport starts a huge stretch during the season here tonight, 12 games over the next 11 consecutive days. What does Newport need to do, Carter, to turn things around and make a playoff push here at the end?
We're just looking for a spark. We played well tonight, so hopefully we can carry that into the next couple games. And, we got to make our own luck. So hopefully we can do that, get the bats going. We pitched well tonight. A few innings here and there. So we're swinging it well right now. We just need to continue to do that, and we'll get going.
Thanks so much and best of luck. The Newport Gulls post-game show continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Well, certainly a tough loss here tonight. It's a real shame because the Gulls' momentum is really falling off here.
Ben and Cam, thanks so much. Newport falls to Plymouth here tonight by a final score of 5-3 on appreciation night. The Gulls fall to 11-19, and Newport will be back in action tomorrow night out in South Kingstown, Rhode Island, to take on the first place Ocean State Waves in the NECBL's Southern Division. But before we sign off, we'd like to thank everyone who's played a role in tonight's broadcast. We'd like to thank Tom Lima, our executive producer and director. Shannon Carlson, our producer. Sam Salinger is our associate producer. Lucas Malley is our audio tech. Our on-site engineer is Dave Peck. Our social media coordinator, Meredith Peppis. Our field reporter, Cam McGuire. Our statistician is Ben Maxad. And for the voice of the Plymouth Pilgrims, Quinn Kelly, I'm Darren Zaslow, signing off and saying so long from the city by the sea.